What's going on, my people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live for Saturday Night Debate Show just after the result. A couple of hours, 3 hours after the game has finished. We're here to discuss the Manchester United result and have a debate. You know what I mean? Everything on the table. We discuss it in full. With me today, we've got Brian, elite pundit. You might have seen him on Twitter a few times. Me and him going head to head on Twitter. It's quite fun, man. You should check it out, people. But Brian, good to see you as well, man. How are you, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. We have a lot to talk about today. There's some stuff I want to get off my chest. It's about Bruno and Rashford. I've been talking about it on Twitter a lot, and some people don't want to hear it. But today, on this platform, I want to talk about both players because my information on both of them and what we think we need to do about both of them is pretty controversial.
Yeah, definitely, man. We'll definitely get into it. Big up to Michael. Big up to you for coming on as always. What you saying, bro?
Yeah, bro, thank you for having me on as always. Now, 3 points is 3 points. At the end of the day, that's all that matters, and we go from there, right?
Yeah, definitely. Omar, man
My
said
boy.
stick with Ten Hag. He said, "What are you saying, man? Stick with Ten Hag." You know what I mean?
Trust the
You
process,
gas
my
right
brother.
now.
Trust the process, my brother. Trust the process, just like that shirt Usman wearing. You feel me? Yeah, so this is the same vibe. Pleasure to be with these guys. Of course, can't wait to have some fun.
Yeah, definitely. Adam, the professor. What are you saying, man? Rashford, another brilliant performance today from Rashford, isn't it? What are you saying?
He can't stop, man. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'm all good, bro. I'm all good. Happy to see you guys. Looking forward to this.
absolutely, man. And we've got Inter Miami royalty in the building. Usman, big up to you, man. Love for coming on, man.
Yes. Shout out to Mandem. Obviously, a pleasure to be on with my brothers. Brian, not done a podcast with you before, but obviously, I'm looking forward to hearing what you got to say. But yeah, listen, as always, people, make sure you slap a like and subscribe to the channel. I can tell you this one's going to be flipping fire. I already know. But yeah, let's get into it, Let's really get into it, bro.
Yeah, let's get into it, man. Like I said, we got the win. Brian, give me your assessment of the game in terms of the 1-0. You know, I mean, it feels like we're getting over the line a lot. You know what I mean? We're not getting convincing games, but 1-0. How do you assess the game in your eyes?
I think Luton are not very good, but they're the kind of team that's given Manchester United problems in the past because they're very physical. They play a low block, and United don't have the kind of players you need to kind of bypass that low block. So in these kind of games, I'm looking at our best players. I'm looking at Bruno, what you're going to do. I'm looking at Rashford. And I think Ten Hag coached maybe a 3-0, scoreline. But obviously, our players are not clinical. Højlund missed a chance. Rashford missed a chance. Garnacho lost his chance completely. So I don't know. Where do we go from here with this kind of team, right? What do you do with Manchester United going forward? With Ratcliffe coming in and everything going on. I think there's too many players who are not at the level that we need. And the two best players in our team, right? You look at someone like Liverpool with Salah, right? That's their best player. Like in a match, you can expect Salah to do something, like to create huge opportunity, to dribble past play, to do something. Like in our team, our best player is Bruno Fernandes or Marcus Rashford. And time and again, they don't have the technical level to be the best player for Manchester United. Like it's not a good building basis. If you're building a team and you have those two as the pillars of your team, you're not going anywhere. And it's not even a hate. It's just the quality of the players that they are. Rashford cannot. He's like a straight line dribbler. He can't. He doesn't have the technical level to lead a team like Manchester United. And I don't even think it's fair to Marcus Rashford. I don't think he was ever designed to be this kind of player, right? With how he broke onto the scene, everybody was injured and we threw Rashford in. And ever since then, he's been playing. He was never a generational talent.
Brian, you believed in this from day one, from the minute you see it.
I've said it since.
You always had this narrative.
I've said it since 2016. Now
sure.
I can share the tweet. I literally said Marcus Rashford is out Theo Walcott. Like he's that level.
Wow.
But we keep on putting him in conversations of Mbappe and Haaland and all these other guys. It's not fair to him. It weighs down on play. Like if you put a player that's not good enough at that kind of pedestal, they're going to let you down, and he's not consistent. Now we've made him close to our highest paid player, our talent, our talisman, and he can't do it.
Number 10.
I don't know. Like it's killing him. Like it's killing him. He doesn't have the talent level to play at that level. And Bruno, like I really like Bruno Fernandes, but he was suited to a team that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer built. Like the counter attack, he has space to knock the ball in behind. You see today against the low block, he had like 3-4 chances to slip in Højlund. He couldn't make the final pass. Like he can't play in tight spaces. So what you then end up happening, Bruno constantly loses the ball. He gets frustrated and his performance drops. It happens time after time after time. And I said it at the beginning of the season. I have the receipts, I have the tweets. I literally said, Bruno and Rashford, would you guys sell them to Saudi if we got £100 million pound offer or something like that? I said it because I saw this was going to happen. And hopefully, when Ratcliffe comes in and we have a proper director of football, he looks at the team and says, you know what? We have these two assets. They probably can bring us £200 million that we dearly need to rebuild the team. Why don't we sell these players and move forward and bring in higher level technical players to be our best players?
Now, you know what? That's a good assessment. I mean, Michael, we struggle with low blocks, a lot here, but like, what is it down to the players just kind of finishing their chances? Like, because problem with me is I still want to be creating a lot more though. Like, you can't just be saying, okay, Rashford scores and then Højlund scores. I get it. They score, especially if Højlund scores early, it's a whole different game. You then Luton come up and then we come a bit confident. I get that, but then it doesn't feel like we're going to create the same patterns again. Like, it just feels like, once here and there. What do you think about the overall game?
I mean, today I wasn't like our worst performance. Like, I know the result was like 1-0 against Luton is kind of embarrassing, but I saw some positive signs, to be fair. Like, obviously, from Wednesday, from the first half that we saw the first 40 minutes against Copenhagen for the Rashford red card, I was kind of positive about the football that was played. He kind of went away from it again today, though. It kind of went back to the 3-1 again instead of the 4-2 that we saw on Wednesday. Eriksen was kind of by himself. Eriksen, and he picked up the injury, which is probably more on Ten Hag because this was meant to be a part-time player this year, and we basically played him like 20 games in a row. McTominay again advanced.
He carried on as well. He carried on as well. As soon as he carried on. Should have came off straight away.
I think Brian's point about Bruno, I kind of agree. Like Bruno, there was like some like that pass that he made to Eriksen, right, where Eriksen like couldn't catch up to it. Like that was a brilliant pass because the way he was being able to play out of pressure. But then when it got to the final third, Bruno tried to play this little clip pass over the top that kept getting intercepted. That's the inconsistency with Bruno, and that's where I get why people are frustrated with him because he has the moments where he looks like an absolute world beater. He'll make a pass that you wouldn't expect anyone to make, but it's just a simple passes. And with Rashford, this is a player that even earlier in the year when he was down in confidence, like he was dribbling at a decent level. He was getting to the byline and stuff and putting in decent crosses. Today, he put the first cross to Haaland, which is good. But after that, like he just like stops. When he gets the ball to dribble, he stops. And then he doesn't know what to do. That's a player that just has no idea what he's doing right now. And I've been one of Rashford's like biggest backers this year. But I've come to a point where it's just better to take him out the firing line, bench him. Obviously, he has off the field issues now too. His head's all over the place. His name's in the media every single day, pretty much. This is the player that just needs to come out. And in terms of like sustaining play, we just need better ball progresses. Obviously, Lissandro and Shaw were definitely missing today because those are the two players that you need when you play against a low box because they move the ball at a much quicker pace. They deliver a good pass as well. Like when you see our players pass the ball, right? They just pass it in slow motion. Lindelof, he'll pass the ball in slow motion. Maguire, other than his diagonal, which is good, he has a good diag on him. Other than that, he'll pass the ball slow. Reguilon, pass the ball slow. It's just consistent slow.
Reguilon's pathetic, man.
He couldn't put in a good cross all game, and that's meant to be like his best attribute. So it's a shame. Højlund, I love like obviously in Champions League he's bagging, but like he's got to bag that first one. Like you just have to bag it.
It was kind of awkward the first one. That we don't think we're kind of harsh on that.
Nah, he's got to score that, bro. He's right in front.
Like it hit his chest, then it hit this, and it hit mad body parts all at once.
It's in the front of it. He's right in front. That's what's happening. He's got to score that. You expect the striker to score that. Whoever the striker is, I expect him to score that. But we had some positive. We'll talk about maybe like the second half later about some positive we saw there. But in the first half, we created a decent amount of chances. Garnacho, I have no idea what he was doing for that. Like he didn't even register the shot.
Oh.
And also, every time Garnacho cuts in, I'm confident he's gonna shoot the ball over the bar. His ball striking is at a very, very low level, and that's probably
overrated.
It's so bad. He doesn't actually know how to strike a ball cleanly. If you look at it, he either always overhits it or just gonna get blocked. So obviously, consistent. We just need improvements. I think with players coming back from injury, hopefully, I think Shaw's meant to come back after international break. That'll be good. So we have a proper left back in, and again the midfield with Eriksen now out. That's his most dependable deep midfielder right now, right? That's the only because Casemiro's injured. He looks like he's lost trust in Amrabat.
Was it bad? Was it as bad? Was it really bad? Because I thought it was a hamstring. Was it a hamstring or was it something else?
I don't
know. He got like a twist or something with his knee.
Yeah.
Like he opened up his knee.
Oh, was it knee?
But it's clear that he's been overplayed. It's clear that he's been overplayed and he needs some rest. Obviously, international break came at the right time for him. That's 2 weeks off now. He's probably not going to go to the Danish camp, but it's time that it's time to introduce Kobe Manu. Like we've been waiting now for. I'm like it's international break, some training time. It's time to introduce someone else because Casemiro's out now. You don't trust Amrabat clearly because he didn't even come on the pitch today.
Bro,
it's only Kobe. Unless you want to play McTominay as a 6 for a whole game, which I don't think he wants to do that. He's only done it for like 45 minutes at a time. So something has to change.
Big up to Rahul says, Saeed, big up from Bombay, India, man. Not sure if you know, but you are famous here in India United bars. Yo, big up to India, man. I appreciate the love, man. Big up, man. Yo, by the way, why do we blow smoke up Rashi? He's crap. Well, we're going to speak on Rashford in soon anyway. Don't worry, man. Make sure you guys are liking the video. There's nearly 600 of you in the building. Make sure you like that video, people. Listen, Omar, chat to us, man. Did you see the game from me? Because I can't lie, I was quite bored in the game. I wasn't really inspired by the football. I know there was chances here and there, but I thought if we can't be entertained by Luton, I mean, when are we going to be entertained? You know,
honestly, I'm kind of scared to speak. I feel like everybody here is thinking the opposite of what I was thinking. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm in deep waters right now, bro. I'm getting ganged up in not positive ways. I kind of feel like
say what you got to say, bro. Say what you got to say.
Nah, I'm playing around. But honestly, first of all, I see I understand is Luton, but if really look at Luton is the team that is really every team that played it either they scrape a 1-0 win or they, you know what I'm saying? Or Luton wins 1-0. Like the ball, Chelsea, I think Chelsea bopped them 3-0 and then same with Brighton. But they tied Liverpool last week. Tottenham beat them 1-0. And I think Villa was 3-1, but you get the point. Like it's not like every team is walking through Luton fives and handing them. It's a team that, you know, is pretty difficult, But I definitely thought today was the day we're going to see 3, 4, 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would have seen more. I agree with the Kobe Mano minutes. I thought Mano minutes would have been there. Shout out Stephanie. Shout out to everyone who called me J. Cole, too. I appreciate that. So
Old school.
J. Cole compassions is crazy. I understand it's Luton. But we got the 3 points. Man, like Liverpool ain't get 3 points last week, right? So it's just
Yeah.
and here we go. We drew them at. You're never gonna win. But anyways, disregard that. At the end of the day, I personally think the team definitely needs to do more. And I see the comparisons. I agree kind of with Brian about Rashford, for example. It's just time. It's time to do more. You get what I'm saying? But personally, I just think we can't sit them down because if we sit Rashford out, right? Clearly, the left you could occupy with Garnacho. The 9 you could occupy with Højlund. You have Martial. Would you rather on the right and Palestri, or would you rather see Rashford? You get what I'm saying? It's kind of like you got to use your cards with what you have. And at the end of the day, Bruno's a perfect example. There's some games where last minute he scrapes you a 1-0 win. Granted, he's shit all game. I get it. But those are the type of players that no matter what 90 minutes you fake, kind of still need them on the field because there's something that they could still create depending on their abilities. You get me? But I do agree that it's time for them to take a little break, because this is looking real rough, especially for Rashi. And maybe it was because last year you're coming off of a high of 30 season. And, last season, the Khan Rashford gang was always, talking about how basically he's playing for the contract. Now you could think it's like, all right, this was contract year, Rashi. You get what I'm saying? So I think it's much bigger to it. Because, for example, when Griggs mentioned Maynard, as much as I'm excited about Kobe, but I really don't think Kobe solves that midfield regardless. I think that's another academy prospect that we're throwing under the water, just like how we threw Garnacho, just how we threw Rashford, just how we throw in every single one of them. And then all he does is give one wrong pass. Griggs, I'm not saying this is you. One misplaced pass, and the fan base is gonna chew him up like a fucking chicken wing, brother. So it's
No, it's true. It's true because we're doing the same thing with Garnacho now at the minute because I feel like a lot of people.
I took his side jersey off. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
So
facts, 100%. I hear you. Big Ben says, "Salam alaikum, brothers." Alaikum salam, bro. He goes, "You can have every player's back. The team won't function with this manager and these players. United are a sinking ship." I mean, Adam, do you agree with that? In terms of, do you think the kind of game plan is working? The football is maybe sustainable. We talked about it a lot. Like, can we keep doing this? It's about the result. Because I think now a lot of people are not coming to me with maybe, we did this, we did that. Like a lot of the comments I'm getting is we got the 3 points. I feel like that's been a familiar pattern this season. We got the 3 points. Don't worry, we got the 3 points. Where are you? Do you feel like that way, or do you think we have been playing a little bit better than what we've seen?
Yeah, I think we've been a bit better the last 2 games, but we've got the 3 points, but we still got 9 defeats. So we are not getting that many 3 points, are we? Like overall, we are not winning that many games.
Yeah, I know you mean.
No, but Adam, if you look at it, right now we're 6 points off the top. Granted, game in hand, we're 9. For a shitty season, that's really not that bad. There's some seasons which get worse.
Yeah, but if we had a difficult start to the season playing well, I would be more confident because consistency usually is what gets you to the top. Because if you play well, but you're getting unlucky or a tough result here and there or injuries, but you're playing well, when the players come back and everything gets into place and you're getting a bit more luck, now you can be actually really, really confident because you're playing well. And now all of a sudden you've gone through a rough period and now you can actually have hope. But the thing is, we are more surprised when we play well than when we are playing shit.
No, it is. Like Copenhagen in the first 20 minutes had my mind blown.
Exactly. When we play like a good 25 minutes or a good game, which is, I don't know what's the last time that happened. Everyone is stunned.
I couldn't believe it. You're right. Yeah,
everyone is stunned. Exactly. So if everyone is stunned when Manchester United play well, that means we are not good. That means we are not good. And if you think about it, we had Dalot, Reguilon, Lindelof, Maguire, Bruno, Eriksson, and McTominay. We had Rashford gone. You could say that the only one that's good enough is Højlund. And because he is not yet good enough. He is a very good talent and a good prospect, but he could flop. I like Højlund, to be honest. I really like the look of Rasmus Højlund. But if you look at that team, every single one in that team is not good enough. So yes, we are frustrated. But then again, what do we expect when you have dead players?
You know what it
It's
is,
not-
Adam? I feel like as a club, right, and as players on that field, I feel like they don't play to each other's strengths. Like several
No, they
times.
don't. They don't.
I've
Yeah,
seen
that's
Dylan
true.
dash and runs several times,
And-
and the
Yeah,
wingers
they
don't
don't
get
use
the ball.
strengths.
Oh,
That's one
you know what I
thing.
mean?
It's not telepathic. It's not telepathic like Man City, how they
Like
do it
remember
there.
when
You know.
Henri, that one
Yeah,
time
yeah.
Henri was telling him about, I think it's Wenger, and he was like, "Yo, like what should I do?" And then he was like, "You have to figure it out." And then he started to figure out, to be a good player, I have to play for Bergkamp's strengths. I need to play for this person's strength. I need to play for what they're great at. So then they look good, then they make me look good, and then boom. I feel like we're the total
Well,
opposite.
problem. Now we have a problem. We have the players that you want to. My teammates are not good enough, and I'm playing for myself. This is the situations we have. Players are playing for themselves. Not only they are not playing to their teammates' strength, their teammates are shocking. Themselves are shocking, and they are being selfish. So I can't see this working out. It just can't. It really can't. And another thing I want, and this is, I don't want to go in on Ten Hag too much, but I'm at the point where I'm praying just for a manager that knows who are the good ones and who are the dead ones. Because it's been too many managers in a row that to me, they get it completely wrong. And it's not that I'm right and they are wrong, but we are still shocking. So someone is wrong. Someone is. Because he buys players and he doesn't play.
I don't think it's Eric.
The problem with the manager at the moment, hold on. My problem with the manager at the moment is he does this disciplined, strict manager thing, and you get rewarded for this, punished for this, but he doesn't do it with everyone. And people can react well to discipline, but they don't react well to unfairness. And that is a very, very important nuance, if you ask me, because if you don't apply the same disciplinary rules to anyone, that's the best way to get a toxic dressing room, the way I see it.
What's an
And
example?
that's the same classroom, that's the place in everything. People don't react well to being unfairly treated. So all of this disciplinary thing, and now Mason Mount had to win his place back. And when it was Ronaldo season, I got
how Anthony was teacher's pet, and Anthony's dropped right now. He don't even sniff it, and he don't look like he gonna sniff it. Amrabat dropped. I don't think Amrabat did anything wrong. You get what I'm saying? Mason Mount, I don't think he did anything wrong disciplinary wise.
Exactly, that's fine. But Rashford is absolutely dreadful.
The likes of Varane, we've seen Varane do a lot of mistakes, bro. Let's be honest. I don't.
Yeah, but Varane made way less mistakes than any of the other centre halves combined, except for Johnny Evans. And Bruno and Rashford, they can get away with absolute murder on the pitch, and they don't get dropped. I'm happy that he drops Anthony. I'm fine with it. I'm happy that he drops Varane if that's the case, because Maguire doesn't deserve to. I'm happy that Mason Mount has to win his place back, but Bruno has to win his place.
But who's gonna play instead of Bruno? Mason Mount?
Bro, I'd play instead of Bruno.
I don't think Mason Mount's a 10 though.
The thing with Bruno is, though, Bruno follows his tactical instructions. So like Ten Hag can't really bench him because Bruno's playing.
You can't.
Bruno's following his instructions. He's not doing anything that's wrong. So you can't drop someone.
He's following his instructions. The way he's playing and the way he has absolutely no respect for that ball. Those instructions are absolutely.
That's Ten Hag's instructions, though. He's the one that.
No, I don't think that's Ten Hag's instruction. I don't think he's telling Bruno to boom.
Sometimes
come on, Michael. Come on, Michael.
To boom the ball anytime he gets it. I think,
like out of possession, for example, he follows Ten Hag's instructions. The pressing, he follows that to the T. To the most.
Does he?
I don't think he always does.
I feel like Ten Hag would drop if he was just like completely ignoring his instructions.
No, Bruno is a hard worker, right? But I don't think he completely follows all the instructions. If you watch Bruno on the pitch, his positioning, right? He's always come out and said, in order for him to find space, he tries to follow like the referee or something, because players tend to stay away from the referee because they don't want to be marked. He said that himself. Like Bruno is not like, he tries, he's hardworking, he will sprint back if he loses the ball and stuff like that. But he's not disciplined in the way that you would expect a midfielder to be. Bruno wants to get forward. Like he almost wants to be playing like a second striker. He's not a discipline. You don't want Bruno to even do that, right? Because it's not the way he wants to play. That's the problem you have Manchester United. It's like there's a mismatch of profiles.
I think you're right. And another point that proves your case is Mason Mount is a manager's dream when it comes to instructions and pressing. So this is not a comparison that applies to Mason Mount. You could say Pogba, for example, and I would say, you know what, maybe you got a point. But Mason Mount is a high press and the manager's instructions dream.
Yeah.
Well, his performance when he came off the bench today, Like
Really
he
good.
actually like his off the ball performance was
Yeah,
really,
no,
really
I
good.
gotta give Mason about credit. Yeah. You know what? I want to give Mason about his credit today. I thought he did well today. Big up, Big Ben
Yeah.
says, "What exactly are Tenag's credential? A Carabao Cup with an easy draw. Who cares if you came third? Only came second. What is Ten Hag giving you to trust him?" I mean,
Well,
I'm gonna
coach
bring
is
in.
considered a
I'm gonna
good
bring in
coach, but
Usman.
he didn't win anything in the
Yeah,
England.
exactly. Yeah, no, that's true.
So
That's true. That's true as
Carabao
well.
Cup, Carabao Cup might be a small trophy, but certain managers haven't won it. So just saying.
Yeah. No, 100%. He even benched his own signings for reject. Smack my head. Shake my head. You know, Usman, chat to me. What are you saying about in terms of today's football, and do you enjoy what you're watching right at the minute? Like, I don't know where you're with in terms of manager. I've not seen you at Old Trafford for a bit, so I don't know where your head's
Yeah,
at in
He
terms of the
boycotted.
manager and the stat.
yeah. I'm on the boycott, man. Alhamdulillah, someone's like
He in
holding
the,
out.
he in the,
innit?
he in
But
the Miami jersey.
some of us are real fans on the side. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, listen. Yeah, regarding the whole, for me, it's an absolute embarrassment. The entire performance today was an embarrassment. I'm sorry. You guys can dress you up all you want. I've seen a lot of United fake positivity on social media. And look, at the end of the day, I understand 3 points is 3 points. Look, it's before the international break. We've got a few injuries. We're not really going to this game with any confidence. Let's just get over the line, get ourselves over the international break, and then we'll reassess. However, we're saying this every single week. It's not like it's a one-off. Like if Arsenal were to say it, they're flying and they're just going through a sticky patch like they did when they lost back to back, and they're like, no, let's just get 3 points. For me, United haven't played good under Ten Hag for a full 90 minutes once. There's not one game. People have said to me against Barcelona, and people said to me against, I think it was Man City or something, and I tweeted it out.
Spurs last year 2-0
Against,
at home. That was our
against,
best.
against, who, sorry?
Spurs 2-0 at home last year. That was our best performance under Ten Hag.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That
That
was
was
a
a
full
good one.
90.
Okay,
That was a good one.
there might be that odd game. Obviously, I don't know everything else off the top of my head, but the point being is, they're far and few between. I mean, we've played the odd good 30 minutes here and there. At the end of the day, like, when do we actually judge as manager on the football that we see on the pitch? Obviously, there are injuries. Yes, there are issues with some of the players, but at the same time, he's selecting the same players week in, week out, where he does have other options in those areas. And I think for me personally, it comes down to psychology. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're not selecting certain players and the player that you are selecting above them is not pulling up trees, of course that's going to cause friction within the dressing room. And I always, refer back to the Bailly statement when he left United, and he basically said, regardless of how Maguire played under Oli, Maguire would start over him. And I think Bailly, okay, he's probably not the greatest example because he was constantly injured, but when Bailly used to play, he definitely played better than Lindelof and Maguire. But automatically you'd see him on the bench because Maguire was a favourite. I think for me, I think that's where Ten Hag's gone wrong. I think a lot of the players in this team have become favourites, and I understand as a manager you're going to have that. But the issue that I have with Ten Hag is if you're going to rule with an iron fist, that needs to apply to every single player within the team. It shouldn't apply to 90%, but not Rashford and Bruno Fernandes, both of which who have been absolutely shocking for the entirety of this season, and there's never been any ramifications for that, regardless of what performance they put in. And as Adam correctly said, you've benched Varane because you don't think he's been good enough or tactically. That's completely fine. If you don't think Varane's, putting up a performance that warrants a start, I'm okay with that. Players of merit. But why is Bruno Fernandes starting then? Why is Marcus Rashford starting there? Because them two have not been playing up to scratch. And to be fair,
I'm with you,
God.
Wallahi, but who else is gonna start? That's what I'm
No,
trying
but this
to
is
think.
no.
Anyone,
This is
anyone, we need anyone.
Adam, 1 second.
Yeah.
Our fans keep saying who is going to start, and I understand that because obviously, it's not me saying, "Oh, let me sack Eric Ten Hag. Who are you going to bring in? Give me somebody in it. Like, give me a name that's going to come in and potentially make a difference." But the truth of the matter is, the way I personally see it, if I'm Palestri, I'm sat on that bench. I'm thinking I've played 30 minutes, or even let's just say that 10 minutes. He doesn't even get 30. I've played 10 minutes. And I've created more chances than Rashford in that 10 minutes that Rashford done in 80 minutes. And for me, if I'm Palestri, I'm thinking, okay, granted, I'm not better than Marcus Rashford. If I'm Palestri, I'm not better than him. Rashford on his day, on form, is better than me, and he's more for goal threat. There's no denying that. But at this moment in time, I'm offering more to the team than Marcus Rashford is doing. So as a player, if I'm Palestri, I'm sat there thinking, why am I not playing? Because I can't do worse than Rashford. You can't watch that performance that Rashford put into there. And I don't want to single just him out. This applies to 99% of the players, but I'll use him as an example. Leicester got to be sat there thinking, I can't do worse. Like I can maybe match him.
Remember
I can maybe match him,
Listen,
but I can't do
you
worse.
know
He's
what
dropping
it is, bro?
stinkers, bro.
before you go, man, before you go though, remember Guardiola last season? Kyle Walker wasn't playing well. Guess who stepped
He
in?
dropped
Rico
him,
Lewis. Did anyone think Rico Lewis
bro.
would come in and
He dropped Kevin De Bruyne.
player?
Bro, he dropped Kevin De Bruyne, and people were like, "Why
He
is he
dropped
dropping
Kevin
De
De
Bruyne?"
Bruyne.
And Kevin De Bruyne came out himself and said, "I'm not playing good enough." I mean, that's the mentality I aspire. Obviously, to compare ourselves to City is obviously ridiculous because they're in a galaxy of their own. We understand that, but you've got to understand as a football fan, we got to separate ourselves from, oh, Rashford's the best player, bro. Put yourself in Palestri's shoes. The guy's come on, he's had an impact every time he's come on, be it 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. He's done more than Rashford and Garnacho. Let's keep it real in the last couple of games, yeah.
You know what's my
He
thing?
has though, and he doesn't even get a chance. He had
it's a
one
little.
bad game. He 1 second. He had one bad game. Yeah, remember when everyone was asking from the start? He started one game, we played okay, maybe 6, 7 out of 10, nothing special, right? Then the game after, he dropped an absolute stinker. I'm not gonna lie, maybe 2, 3 out of 10. We've not seen the guy since. But when Rashford drops out 1 out of 10, week in, week out, and he's playing, obviously, if I'm Palestri, I'm gonna be sat there thinking it doesn't matter if Rashford plays poorly, he's gonna get picked. And for me,
Exactly.
as a fan, you're setting the wrong precedent within the
Yeah.
squad. You should be playing on merit. It doesn't care who you are. It doesn't care what your name is. You're playing on merit, and that for me is the biggest issue at United. And look, again, if he doesn't think Fran's playing good enough, fair enough. But please hold Rashford and Bruno to the same account. That's all I ask for. The same energy.
Before you go, Brian, I'm just gonna read a couple of super chats here. Big up Abdi Sheck says playing Rashford right now is already bad, and playing him off the right wing is like playing Bebe. It's going to be redemption arc for Sancho.
Wild,
Eric
bro.
Ten Hag out.
Wild.
Farah says there isn't simply enough quality on the pitch. No attacker walks into any top six. Also, is
Facts.
that a Yankee accent? But I'm right. Yeah, from the Bronx, man. You know what I'm
Yonkers?
saying?
No,
to you,
I'm
man?
from
Nah,
Queens.
nah.
I'm from Queens. But Yonkers, they all work. They all work. We all one neighborhood.
Yeah,
Shout out Yonkers.
absolutely. Big up to Yonkers, man. Yusuf said, big up Yusuf from South Africa. He says, we have been rubbish since March. This is football is unsustainable. Technically inept players with low IQ. I can't see this getting any better or without a new manager. And big up to Tariq. He says there is one game where we saw he was implemented. It was Arsenal in pre-season. The rest is absolute mediocrity. Buzzsaw result incoming. Let's not act like we weren't warned. I mean, let me ask you a question there, Brian. We
Yeah.
are 4 wins out of 4. You know what I mean? Do you see the progress, or is it just kind of like,
Say it with your
you know
chest.
what I mean? No.
Say it
I'll be
with your
serious
chest,
with you.
brother. Don't be
Is it
scared,
something
brother.
that?
No,
No,
I'm
I'm
not.
not scared of anything. No, but is it something that's just on paper? United are 4 wins out of 5, or do you see the progress we are playing in terms of the football,
Well,
the style?
mm,
Because is it going to be we go on a form and then it's not going to be like a convincing way of where we play right now. What do you
well,
think?
I think like you have to analyze Manchester United's situation with short term, long term in mind, right? You need to look at the full picture. Like the team that Ten Hag walked into, like let's look at it, right? That team lost a lot of players, right? And then Bruno and Rashford really became the best players in that team. The problem Ten Hag has now, right? Because these are his two leaders in the dressing room. If he takes them out,
Oh,
what's going to happen to the rest of them? What's going to happen to everybody else? Because
yeah.
Rashford has been at the club
No,
since God knows when, right? He's been at the club for a very long time, and Bruno is huge in that dressing room. Everybody loves Bruno. You can even look at the comments in his Instagram while Mata is still talking about him, the hair, and everything. So you have to be very careful as a manager that you don't make a decision that is highly unpopular because the players might see it as Bruno might not be playing well, but he gets us like something. Like he gets us a result. Why would we play Palestri instead, right? But in terms of performances, right, I think Ten Hag, part of the reason why I like him as a manager is because he can get a result. Like it might not be pretty, might not be the best football ever, but he can get a result. That's why you look
sounds
at
like
it. He's like
Mourinho.
the
Sounds like
well,
Mourinho to
but
me.
that's not a bad thing, right? Because we know he can play good football, right?
But
And
he
we know
was
he
meant to
can
be a
get
coach,
results.
though. He was meant to be
But
a coach with
you
a philosophy
need the
and play
players.
football.
You need the players to play the way a manager wants to play. Today was the perfect weekend, really, for me to actually show people. Look at Newcastle United injuries. They were playing bad, like they were playing high energy football, but
Nah, I
now
hear
with
that.
injuries, they look terrible. Like Bournemouth dominated them the whole game. You look at Tottenham today, they sat back against Wolves for damn near 60 minutes. They couldn't get past the halfway line. They couldn't play high line with the back line that they had. all these things matter. Like people are talking like as if we have Rio Ferdinand and Paul Scholes on the bench that can come on and just change the game. You're asking a young kid, Palestri, who has never had a world-class season in his life to step in and play ahead of Marcus Rashford. It's not gonna happen. Like you people are good. Garnacho, he's so overrated. It blows my mind. He's a good kid. He's talented, but he's not generational. Like he's not going to lead Manchester United to a Champions League. I can guarantee you that. He's going to be a decent winger. That's
what
about
I was
it.
trying to get into though. Like
the whole
our
thing,
right
like
wing position is dead, bro. If you deep it, if you really deep it, that shit is dead. The only one left to prove himself is Ahmad, and that's it. And if you don't,
Ahmad's gonna come, but
Ahmad's a guy, man. Ahmad's a guy. Saeed's giving tips.
I'm really not like
I ain't got the icon. Yo, Saeed, you better not switch up the narrative when he's through stinking.
Yeah, Saeed, I'm ready for you,
I know Ahmad. Don't worry.
Ahmad is a good player. Like Ahmad is a good player, but the thing is that I don't like overhyping players, right? Especially for Manchester United, because it has a tremendous effect in a negative way when it doesn't work out. There's really only one, maybe there's one or two players in this team that has a world-class potential, and that's Martinez and Højlund. That's about it. Like the whole team, on Onana as well, who's obviously was
no Mino talks.
I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. No. Onana is already a world-class goalkeeper. He's not a
Onana. Where are you from? Are you from Cameroon?
No, he's from Nigeria.
No, I'm Nigerian.
Yeah, you can tell you're Nigerian.
Okay.
I was about to say, if it's Cameroon, then
Onana, listen. But look at the people are saying Onana is not world class, but Edison also makes like
world class.
Onana is a world class goalkeeper in what he does, right? And even today, he put up an amazing save, right? Does he make mistakes?
Yeah,
yes.
that was amazing save.
He's not Alisson. Like he's not Alisson. He's not going to like chance after chance. Like if you concede a lot of shots, Onana is not a goalkeeper for you. Like he's going to let something in. He's not that kind of goalkeeper.
He's not world class, is he, Brian? He is.
He's kind of like Edison. He's kind of like Edison,
not, bro.
right?
Come on,
I'm telling you, like he's kind of like Edison.
I see it.
He's kind of like Edison. If you put Edison in our team and let them just keep firing shots at him, he's going to concede goals. Like he's going to make mistakes.
Yeah, he's not a good shot stopper.
Like,
he's not a good shot stopper. Yeah,
I know really like he's not an elite shot stopper. Onana is like, in terms of shot stopping, it's like I would say it's like a B level, right? He's not the hair where he got up to like elite. But in terms of what he does coming out of his goal, even for a goalkeeper that's not like 6'6", like something like that, like he claims crosses really well. He commands his area pretty well, good communication. Like he's a world-class level goalkeeper. He played for Inter Milan and got to a Champions League final and dominated the game from the goal line. Like he's a good goalkeeper, but pushing past Onana, the point I want to make is that this team doesn't have enough world-class talent, right? And I know everybody wants to see like fantastic football. You're not going to see it. Like since Fergie retired,
do you know? But hold on a minute. But let me challenge you on a point there. Do you need 11 world-class players to play good football?
No, you need good players. So most of the players we have are shit.
And we don't have that. And
the thing is, though, he's assembled Mount, he's assembled Amrabat, he's assembled Reguilon, he's assembled some of these guys, Anthony, he's assembled these guys. So it's on him as well to kind of, play that football. He's a coach.
He should never have been in that position in the first place. He should not be.
He's giving Dalot a new contract. He's giving Dalot a new contract, so he believes in him.
This is the problem. This is the problem I have with Manchester United fans, because you're creating a problem. You're creating a problem for yourself, right? Because let's say Ratcliffe comes in, or let's say Ratcliffe doesn't come in, and things just go wrong, right? And we're stuck with the same recruitment team. You bring in another manager, and he's going to do the same thing. Managers do not scout players. It's a different skill set entirely. A manager is not going to watch a player 90 minutes for over 100 games and tell you, all right, this player, I've been following him since he was whatever. I know his strengths and weaknesses and whatever. He had Anthony for maybe a season and stuff, but that's not enough.
2 years, yeah.
Someone that recruits a player, right? Especially for
practice every day.
Even for a Premier, like I can tell you right now, that's not enough, right? Because he has never coached in the Premier League before. He doesn't know, like, it's so easy, like Ten Hag can watch a game like us we do, like I have maybe more data and stuff like that. But it's not the same thing as coaching Premier League level managers. That's why City managers come into the league, they were good somewhere else and then they flop. Like they need an adjustment period. Even Pep, like Pep
I mean,
Guardiola.
even look
He
at the
needed
Bournemouth
an
manager.
adjustment period.
The Bournemouth manager.
So
that
what you're
Raoul
saying
used.
is, so what you're saying is, big up to Kevin. Kevin says, I think we need to buy another 11 players. I don't
Agree.
think we need to buy another
I don't
11
agree,
players. I
man.
don't think
I
so.
agree,
I
man.
don't
That's the
believe
whole
that.
lot of it. The
No, we
moment
need
you
11.
We can't
We
say
probably
this.
need more players. But
the moment you
There
can
needs to be an
7 goals to Liverpool, man, you need to get your bags and then you move. I'm not having
You
it
need to go.
because now the
Yeah.
mentality is the problem as well as the quality. Because if only the quality was a problem, I would agree. But these lots
Yeah.
are happy being there. Just move them on, all of them.
They need to
To
all
be fair,
go.
we probably do need like 11 new players. We need at least like 3 center backs this summer if we're gonna be real.
yeah, but we don't need 11 players to play a style of football. Is that not
Oh no,
the
not that.
concept
But
we're
we, I
having
think
here?
Instead
You
of
I
need-
think
buying
that's what it is,
We've
though.
We're talking
seen
about competing. Brian is talking about style of football. Like we don't. I just think everything you've said, Brian, is a complete cop out. I can't lie to you
it's
because the fact that you're defending Ten Hag when it's not defendable, bro. You've got Eddie Howe who's just taken a relegation candidate team. You got to remember where he grabbed that Newcastle team. They were literally on the brink of relegation. They were that close to getting relegated, and the guys had them bowling since day dot. I'm not going to use Tottenham because we haven't got a big enough source of that sort of game, so to speak. But you look at Newcastle, the perfect example of bang average players. Sean Longstaff, are you taking the piss? Like they've got
Aston Villa.
Almiron, Sean
We
Longstaff.
was linked
They've
with Sean
got
Longstaff, bro. We was linked
one
with
second. They got Sean Longstaff, Almiron, Murphy, etc., etc. Bro, they've got a Dan Burn at fullback. You can't tell me their players are better than ours on paper. It comes down to coaching and it comes down to principle. And Ten Hag admitted it himself that he's completely gone against his principles because these players are not coachable essentially. So from that perspective, maybe you have a point.
All those
But
guys.
at the same time, he should have stuck to his principles. He completely bottled it, in my opinion.
Well, if
Like,
he sticks to his principles and Manchester United end up finishing 16th, you'll be one of the people shouting.
bro,
"Sack the
one
manager."
second. That's not. Firstly, that's not going to happen. We're not going to finish 16. But secondly, Arteta did it with Arsenal. They finished 8th. They finished 8th again, but guess what? He still kept playing out the bag. Go back and watch the games. Leno made mistake after mistake.
But what happened at Arsenal though?
One second, Leno made countless mistakes, passing to Mustafi and the back line. Instead of Arteta telling him to go along, he persisted. He showed that he had the cojones to stick to his guns, and that's why Arteta has got the flowers that he's got. To me, when the goals got tough, Ten Hag's basically reverted to Oli tactics. Let's just do whatever we can do to get the win. And for me, as a Man United manager, you've got to show that you've got the cojones to make the big calls. If players like Rashford aren't capable, put him on the bench. It's as simple as that. So for me, I just think it's a cop out, man. The style of football isn't good enough.
The framing for me doesn't make any much sense to me, right? Because even at Arsenal, Arteta had to play 3 at the back sometimes because he didn't have the players. And even then, when Arsenal lost many games back to front, what happened? The Arsenal board, the recruitment team, and everything we're sticking with you because we believe in you, and we're going to sign the players that you need to get you to the level that
was he playing? Was it clear what Arteta was trying to do? That's all I'm asking you.
I can see what Ten Hag. Well, maybe you can't see what Ten Hag is trying to do. I can see what Ten Hag is trying to do. He's done it.
One thing with Arteta though, is
sometimes they be good, sometimes they be shit.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Sally. Thank you.
But it's true, but Brian, is it true though? Sometimes they be good, sometimes they be shit.
But that's expected though. The team again. I go back to the team that Ten Hag
inherited. You leave yourself. Brian.
I agree.
It's expected to dominate against Sheffield United and Luton.
It's expected.
But the thing is, though, one rebuttal. Go on. I'll let you go.
Yeah, it's expected because the team that Ten Hag inherited was the sixth worst team in the league, right? Was really bad, and then it lost even more players, right? So by all accounts, last season we should have declined, but we didn't. Then we signed some players. We signed Anthony. We signed Casemiro. Casemiro performed at a really high world-class level, which really uplifted the team, right? Because when he came in is when really the changes really started happening. This season, Casemiro has fallen off a cliff, and now he's even out and is injured.
Brian, can I ask you a question, please? Sorry to interrupt you again. I do apologize.
Yeah.
But can you please explain to me why you signed Mason Mount and Amrabat? He's playing neither of them. I want to know how a manager can sign 2 players and sign other players and not use them. So, for me, the way I see it. Okay, you can make the case that XYZ players ain't good enough, blah blah blah. Fair enough, but you got to put into consideration, as the gentleman here said, he spent 400 million, 370, whatever you want to know the parts. I don't really care what the number is. He spent a lot of money. 370 million is a lot of money. Let's not act like a lot of these players are on his. Yeah, I understand he's got injuries, but he's got Mason Mount for 60 million, and he's got Amrabat. Why are neither of them two If they're your signings, both of which he chased for ages, why neither starting? Can you please explain? I don't understand.
Well, I don't know specifically for Mount, right? Mount, he's tried to incorporate him early on in the season. He played him, right? And then he got injured. And I think he said recently, sometimes this thing happens, it upsets your rhythm. He's trying to get him back into form. He doesn't want to just throw him in, which in my opinion is good management, right? There's no point in rushing a player that hasn't played for Manchester United before.
Yeah, but
and
he
try
said
and
he
get
has
him
to
playing.
win. He said he
Well,
has to
he-
win his place back, which is a bit of a problem to me.
I don't know if I don't know that particular quote, but for me, what's important is putting a winning team. These players are not coming into a stable environment. You want Amrabat to start where he was playing for Florentina. It's not the same level. Now, maybe he saw Amrabat as a player that was going to cover for Casemiro, right? Because last season that was a huge problem. Casemiro was playing too many games. When he was out, there was no cover. So he brought in Amrabat as cover. You're saying he's not trusting him. What do you mean he sees him as a bench player? Like, I don't understand why it's such a problem for Manchester United.
No, but for me,
to-
surely if
is
you're
it-
bringing in players in midfield,
again,
No.
it's not, again, for me, it's like we're not talking about he signed De Jong and put him on the bench. These are not high level players.
but that's not
They
that's
might be
not the point.
useful. They might be useful players.
No, but that's
it's
not the
besides-
point. If you're signing
Right.
players like Amrabat and Mount to play a certain style of football and they fit your system, okay, fair enough, he's a replacement for Casemiro, fair enough. But if these are kind of players that are going to suit your certain type of football that you're trying to play, surely you put them on the pitch and build your team around these players. I mean, he spent 350 million to 400 million. You know, you can make that case last year or the end of last year when he spent a lot of money and he's not even utilizing the players that were supposedly bought to play in a system that we're not even seeing. So for me, although I understand the points you're trying to make, you got to understand that he spent money on players that were meant to fit a system that he hasn't brought in, or they're not even playing. Like Anthony,
So
not,
what's the point?
what do you
What's the
mean?
point what's the point you're trying to make?
Why have you spent all this money on players to fit a so-called system and then not play the system and then not play the players? It doesn't make
Because
sense to me.
Manchester United are not informed, and when he tried to implement that system, they couldn't carry out the necessary performance to get results. So right now
Okay.
he's trying to get results. It's
Yeah.
straightforward. Like, this is coaching
So
at
it's
a high
survival
level.
mode.
I think
Survival
another thing with Mount is like we look at the midfield today. Do you really want to start a Bruno Eriksson Mount midfield? Because that's just going to get cooked. So Mount
This
has
is
to
my
wait.
thing.
I think
Who's
Mount has
starting
to
that?
wait. I think Mount has to wait for other. Like, when Lissandro and Shaw come back, I think Mount's going to go back into the starting 11 because he'll trust the left back and the left center back to be better progressors, so he doesn't have to require a center mid to be the progressor in the midfield. That's why Eriksson's playing right now, because he doesn't trust the center backs to be always the progressor. Maguire's the only one that can do it at a high level. Lindelof can't progress the ball at a high level. So you have no DM.
You know my question. My thing is though, I think 18 months in, I think it's a right to every United fan who is questioning Ten Hag is that we should be seeing his style a bit more
Absolutely.
cohesively. I think that's the
Yeah.
question for me. You know, you should be having the players now at this stage to be seeing a more fluid, and you can see what his kind of team is right now. If you're saying, Brian, that we're back into kind of survival mode and we're going to maybe the things that was here last season and whatnot, it doesn't give you much kind of optimism because you're like, hold on a minute, you stick to them principles, you bring Amrabat in, you play the way you want to play, and we go together and play that sort of football that we can play. If we're going back to McTominay's and the guys that you probably wanted to get rid of, it's not going to work, is it? Because they all have a
Exactly.
ceiling. These players have a ceiling. They will have a ceiling, and then when we don't win the game, we're like, hold on a minute, we had them players in. It's never going to work. We're never going to get the answer, are we? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't know,
Brian
man,
said.
because it just seems to me. Go on.
Yeah, just like Brian said, you said he started the season with a certain setup, and the players are not able. What exactly did you say? Are not able to do it or this or that, and they don't have it enough. They are not good enough. So now he's switching to getting results. That means he misprofiled them to start with.
Thank you.
That means
That's not 100% what happened, right? Okay, let's talk about the
no. This is what you
system.
said. What exactly did you say?
They didn't perform the system to the level necessary to get results. Let's talk about the enhanced system, right? Because I think there's a lot of confusion in understanding his system. Saeed, Usman, can you guys tell me from your understanding, what is Ten Hag trying to do?
What is his philosophy, you mean?
No, what system is he trying to implement? Like, what's he trying to do with his formation? What's he trying to do with the players he has on the pitch?
That's what I'm saying. I right now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know. I think what he tries to do is He tries to win the ball high up the pitch, create overloads, high pressing, win the ball back, and then create overloads like that. That's his main philosophy for me, what I see. But obviously, I don't see the patterns every so often. So that's why I get a bit confused, if I'm being really honest with you. Last season, I could see what he was trying to do. This season, I think we've regressed. I don't think
Yeah, I
we're doing
agree.
that. And he's playing
I
a sort of
agree.
football. Sometimes it's hoofball. Sometimes it's just get it long and then we do whatever. Even Hoyland, you look at me. Hoyland, is he a player that likes to get the ball over the top? So why do we keep doing that? Why do we keep forcing the ball to Hoyland in the air? He's a player that likes to get it on feet. So I'm like, hold on a minute.
Okay.
Do you understand it? Do you know his strengths? Do you
Okay.
know his
So
weaknesses?
so with Ten Hag, right? I followed his like the season before he joined Manchester United. I watched a lot of Ajax,
Yeah.
right? And so what was really with the strengths of Ajax? What made them so good? Part of the reason why Ajax was so good is that they had players like Timber, like Martinez, who were
Yeah.
so good at constantly
Playing from the
receiving and
back.
passing the ball. Like they were not
Yeah.
playing like typical center backs. Like the
No.
positions they picked up, they were moving all over the place, passing. They were the chief progressive passers in the team. Like even Timber with Arsenal fans, you can ask them how much that
Timber's
when
amazing.
they were so
Yeah.
surprised by the form of Timber when he came in. Like he was so good. So the point is, at Manchester United line with Ten Hag,
And then he had,
on
I'm
that
sorry,
basis,
he had Mazarawi too, right? Yeah, Mazarawi.
yeah, Mazraoui too, who's really
Mazraoui,
also
yeah,
really
yeah.
good at that. He had
Like,
Daily
who's
Blains
his
as
left
well.
back? Who's the left back? Tagliafico.
He sometimes used
Blaine.
Tagliafico, sometimes he used Blaine to left back or center back.
Well,
Really
Tagliafico
depends.
still had a solid run. I'm not gonna lie, even though
He was a solid defender, but he wasn't like bad on the ball. Like for instance, he was better than Wan-Bissaka on the ball. So you come to Manchester United, you don't even have that. So you say, okay, let's bring in Martinez to help progress the ball. Martinez was huge in that last season. He gets injured this season. Shaw plays left center back. He gets injured. As a manager now, you're scrambling. Okay, like all right, Varane, who's not very good on the left side, so you're going to have to play on the right side. He's not good at switching play. Varane is so uncomfortable on the ball, it's crazy. Then if you're going to play Varane and Wan-Bissaka on
It's
that
a
side,
misconception that does my head into the high. This thing
he's
that
not- he's
Varane is
not
not
good on the
worth you have
ball.
to-
Real
No,
Madrid
no.
fans would tell you that he's not close
Sergio
to
Ramos made
Martinez.
him look good, bro.
Like he's a
Oh,
good
don't say
but
that. Oh
he
my
says-
God.
listen,
Don't be
Hey,
silly.
No, I agree with
Right, bro.
Brian in certain aspects. No, I agree with
Bro,
Brian in certain
have you
aspects. He's not
seen
the most
Varane?
glamorous on the
Have
ball.
you seen Varane get pressed? Do you see what he does? He turns around all
Yeah,
the
I
time.
agree.
Like it's
Bro,
not.
Varane
No,
is
I
not
agree.
worth
I
it.
agree
Sergio
with
Ramos
Brian.
made him look amazing, bro. I'm telling you.
Varane is,
No,
he's a fantastic.
That's
Ramos
disingenuous, bro.
He's a fantastic box defender. If you want someone to defend your box, Varane is one of the best players in the world at doing that.
I agree.
But if you want someone to like play at the back, he's gonna let you down. Like he doesn't
Varane is not
play.
the best on the ball, but he's not a liability because he is so smart in his positioning and his understanding of the spaces that the way he
If you
receives
want
the
to,
ball,
if you want to defend your box, if you want to play out
No,
against
hold
Luton
on.
Town and progress the ball,
Go
what's
on.
gonna happen when you have Varane? His switch
Go
of
on.
plays are not very good. He's not going to play at the back. So what's going to happen? You're going to concede counterattacks, and then you concede a goal. That's not what you want as a coach. I'm making it clear because
that is not true. That's one thing. And then
Okay.
I'll let you go, but I will after that I will speak and you will let me finish.
yeah, sure.
So go on.
of course, no problem. But again, I want to bring you back to his Ten Hag system because the whole point is that he had progressive passers in his defense. He had Gravenberg in his midfield. He had people who could progress the ball with either passing or carrying the ball. At Manchester United, he doesn't have that. People can ignore
When
this
he could have
all
got
they want.
Gravenberg, why didn't he get him?
Well, you can
Could've
ask the
got
club
him.
that. You can ask the recruitment team. This was happened after they had signed Mount, and he tried to get somebody, but they didn't want to pay the money. We signed Amrabat on loan. Like he's not even a permanent signing yet. So the point being is that if you want to see Ten Hag ball, I'm not saying good football. I'm saying Ten Hag style of play. You need the players that can play the way Ten Hag wants. Right?
Brian, so on that then, so where's that 400 million gone? Like,
You're asking me. This is a club that wasted over £1 billion pounds. That wasted over £1 billion before Ten Hag got here.
I'm sorry.
I'd rather
stop
focus
that.
on I'd rather. You know what I'd rather do? No, but the thing is, let's forget the 400. I think for me, what I'd rather focus on, where's the element of coaching going to come into it? Like, what
before that,
no, but
in Brian's
it's true, though, Omar.
the 400 million. If you really deep it, because we always bring back this 400 million. Technically, wasn't his fault that we got finessed on 400 million. It's just everybody
No,
looked
I get that.
because
I
it was
get that.
Anthony worth 100 million. We agreed 60, and then it was a panic buy because De Jong dubbed us. Casemiro was never worth 70 mil. You know what I'm saying? Mount was so it's not technically the 400 mil was just not. He wanted these players could work. The club is just idioting, bro.
Okay, Omar. No, but okay. So what we're trying to say here is, unless Ten Hag gets the 11 that he's got on the football pitch plus the squad on the players, you won't see Ten Hag football
That's
in
what they
its
say.
entirety. Is that all we're trying to say now? Please, just let
I
me know.
mean,
Okay, then I can sit.
Is that what you're saying,
What
bro?
I'm seeing is he
that's all I'm saying. There's no point in hiring Ten Hag if you're not going to give him the players that he needs. Like, why
How
hire
many
him?
players
Go
is
get
signed,
Sam
right?
Allardyce.
No,
How
he's
many
right
players
though.
he
There's
signed?
certain coaches, but there's certain coaches that require a certain level of players. to
Michael, I
follow
understand
certain-
about
Pep Guardiola, for
how many
example.
players has he
Pep
signed?
Guardiola,
Let him land.
Pep Guardiola, for example, could get this squad of players, and you're not going to see Pep ball, and he's the greatest coach of all time. He can't coach certain players to do certain things. That's why I don't like the Eddie Howe comparison, because Newcastle have a group of players that can do the basics of what Eddie Howe demands from them. Eddie Howe hasn't installed some overcomplicated system. Ten Hag system requires a simple overcomplication that other systems don't need, and then you need a certain level of players. That's why
I mean, it's not a
That's not what
Guardiola
they're asking for,
system,
Michael,
though.
bro.
No, but hold on a minute.
Bro, I mean,
It's not the most glamorous football,
Bro,
though,
but
is
they
it?
require- bro,
It doesn't need.
Bro,
It doesn't
do
need
you
this, like, you know.
Do you have a
you
lot
know,
of
come
do you
on,
know a
man.
lot of systems that require your center backs to be the chief progressors of the play? There's not that many systems in world football that do that.
No, but I get it.
Some of them
But
require
what you're talking
fullbacks to
about a
do it.
system
Like
that.
Klopp, for example, Klopp had his fullbacks do the progression in terms of like a Trent or Robertson, and then he had the top right backs to do that.
Okay. Hold on a minute. So So if he keeps playing Rashford and Bruno, who are basically not gonna enable this sort of football, is that on Ten Hag? Yes or no? Then.
It's on the club.
He does not. Wait, no. If he had played,
On the
Bro, what do
club.
you mean on the club, man? It's brilliant, bro. You can't do
Oh
this,
my
Brian,
God.
man.
Okay.
That's
It's the
If Ten
closest
Hag-
spot Rashford starting.
man.
Definitely.
Ten Hag-
Bro, come on, man.
Saeed,
It's the
Saeed.
closest spot Rashford starting at.
If-
Can I answer
Saeed.
to that? Can I answer to that?
Come
Can I
on,
answer
Yes
to
or
man.
no? If no, if Ten Hag says he wants to sell Marcus Rashford right now with his club, sell him.
Bro, it
That is
doesn't
not
mean
the
you have to
right way
start
to-
him.
That is not the right way to rephrase it. Like, because now the club structure has become a bit like COVID. Like just put it on COVID and just put it on the structure on the club. Everything that happens is because of the club.
It's
Come on
ridiculous,
now.
honestly.
Let's just be-
Adam, 1 second. Mike,
Let's say it. No, but
It's
Brian,
sad,
do
1
you get
second.
where I'm
one-
coming from, though? Do you get? Yeah, go on. Go on.
So, Michael, just to clarify, and to Brian as well, I'm not expecting prime Ten Hag ball by I'm looking for 30%. I'm not looking for the finished article. I'm just looking for 30%. I can say, no, I can see what he's doing. Yes, Brian, you are right. In some games, to be fair, the Copenhagen game, to be fair, prior to Rashford's red card, we use that as an example. You can see what Ten Hag was trying to do. And I actually tweeted it. We didn't lose this game because of Ten Hag. We lost this game because of the players and the referee. That was not Ten Hag's fault in the slightest. He coached a brilliant game. So I'll give him credit where it's due. I'm not saying that he hasn't shown, in moments here and there, but I'm talking about a bit of consistency. When I go into the game, I know Man United are going to do X, Y, and Z. And that for me is the biggest issue. And Michael, you are right. Pep does need his players. A lot of managers do need the players. That's why Pep spent like 200 million on fullback just to get the right ones. So that's true as well. I'm not denying that. What I'm trying to say is I'm just looking for 25%, 30%. I'm not even looking for the finished article this season. I just want to see a bit of progress. Oh, he's trying to do X, Y, and Z. I understand certain players aren't capable of doing, following certain instructions, like Maguire playing a high line or Maguire progressing the ball at a quick pace. I get that. But most fans, let's keep it real. You watch the game and we haven't got a clue what we're trying to do as a team. The front four look like they've never played together every single game. I mean, there's absolutely no fluidity and there's no progression in the final third. They're completely void of ideas. And we saw that today. Bar a Lindelof goal from a scrappy corner, I don't think we would have scored. Yes, we missed a couple of chances, but prior to Lindelof scoring, we only had one chance, which was Højlund's. The game opened up, then we got chances. So for me, you got to look at it subjectively as well. I'm not looking for a finished article. I'm looking for 25, 30%. And if the players aren't capable of doing that, fair enough. But he has signed like 10 players and he's not playing quite a few of them as well. So that's why I get a bit frustrated. But I understand where you guys are coming from.
To be fair, today, for example, like on the left wing, like Garnacho and Reguilon, there were patterns of play between them. The way they were dragging the fullback out wide, and they were connecting. Obviously, the execution wasn't good because why? Because Garnacho was not at that level yet, and Reguilon was like an emergency signing because four of our left backs got injured. I also think if Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw were healthy from August, from the beginning of the season, we would be seeing more Ten Hag ball. I think Lisandro Martinez and Luke Shaw are the two most important components in this team into seeing Ten Hag ball by far.
Yeah, but you know what? Sorry, excuse me. Go ahead.
It's just because that level, like I do see patterns. Sometimes I do see patterns. Obviously, I do agree with the attack. The attack looks completely inconsistent, but I also think in order to have a good attack, you'll need to have a good defense because it all starts from the back. How do you progress a play? Like today, we saw, for example, Maguire was the only one that was able to make a forward pass from the back line. The diag was always onto Garnacho. That was it. That was pretty much like the forward. Lindelof, I haven't seen Lindelof break a line in like the last 5 years. He refuses to do it. Sometimes he'll carry the ball well at a decent level. Like in the second half, he had a couple like nice little runs that he did. He did like a little dummy. That's about it. Diogo Dalot, every time he tried to break a line today, he was messing up the pass and Lewin about to
Bro,
counter.
Dalot, man.
He was
I
so
told you
bad
about
today.
that Dalot, man. Dalot is
Reguilon, let's be real. Reguilon,
he can't even pass it. He can't even pass, man.
like Reguilon's a Ten Hag signing because he signed up, but let's be real. In an ideal world, Reguilon would have not even been on our transfer list. If Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malacia did not get injured, and he didn't trust Alvaro Fernandez to make that step yet because he needed another young one, that never would have happened.
This big up to Big Ben says no. Ramos played with Pepe and was erratic. Varane made Ramos better. They were both was amazing on off the ball. They both rose and evolved. Guys, still over 800 of you in the building. Make sure you like the video. We've not even hit 400 likes, guys. So let's get them likes up, people. But you know, I mean, listen.
Video 800.
Yeah, over 800 in the building. Let's get them likes up. But you know what it is though. You know, we've only scored 12 goals. I think it's 12 goals. How many goals we scored, Griggs, this season in the Premier League?
I think
12.
I think it's 12.
12.
13.
12 in.
Oh, 13. You're right. Yeah, 13.
13. Yeah, 13 in 12 games. Is it?
Yep.
I mean, is that good? Is that concerning? I'll start with you, Michael. Is that concerning or is that good? What are you saying?
That is concerning because I think I got tweeted this, bro, every single time. I even tweeted today. I'm like, again, one of our non-attackers scored a goal again. I'm like, it was Chelsea all over again, bro. Every single time it's either a center back or a midfielder scoring.
Or he knew.
Bro, it's like so embarrassing. But I saw like today I saw some patterns. Like Hoyland should have backed today. Let's be real. Like whether like I don't know Omar said the ball bounced like went off like a bunch of body parts, but you expect.
What is it in the Premier League that you're struggling with? What is it in the Premier League that you're struggling with?
He's trying too hard. He's trying too hard. Like every single time you see him trying to back up into the defenders, like he's trying to wrestle.
I know.
He doesn't do that in Champions League.
Well, you know what I think, Saeed, though, with Hoyland, I don't think he's that player to create you a moment of brilliance. I think he's that. He gives me like Van Nistelrooy vibes. Like,
he's a poacher.
Yeah.
He's a poacher. He's a poacher.
Yeah, he's a linear
Yeah.
running dash, and I feel like his wingers are not feeding to that. The point of Hoyland was because he could also open the wingers. He gives up space to the wingers to get into the box to score goals. So for me, I felt like Hoyland was a very good asset because not only he's a poacher, but he also gets the wingers in the game. The biggest problem, your wingers are shit this season. All of them.
They are shit.
Like
period.
Literally, all of them are shit. The ones that are on the field and off the field.
Not this season.
I think this season is specifically because if he had 30 goal informed Rashford, it would have been a different story.
But you know what? Inform Rashford happens once a year, and on 29th of February. It never happens. It never happens.
Adam can't stand Rashford, honestly. If you praise Rashford, oh man, you're not going to get sense it. So.
I think.
Because the thing is, though,
tell me what you think about this. And how can you say that Rashford is such an important player, and then you go and sign a striker of Rasmus Hoyland's profile? Who's scoring for who? Who's passing to whom? Who's creating who?
I mean, if you look at it today, Rashford created on the platter. That was on the platter for Hoyland. That was created.
You know what? Because he was on the right today. Because he is so uncomfortable on the right that he has to do the very basic, simple stuff that actually
for him
is
on the left too. He's created for him on the left. If you look at who's created the most chances for Hoyland this season, it's Marcus Rashford. He's created more for Hoyland than chief creator Bruno Fernandes has.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Bruno create a chance for Hoyland all year.
And we have 13 goals in the Premier League. That means we are not creating chances. We are not scoring goals. And everyone agrees that Rasmus Hoyland is playing well. He just hasn't scored in the league. So what happens? What's happening at the moment? We are not creating. Like people say, oh, but you can't drop Rashford and Bruno because how are we going to score? And we are not scoring. That's funny, isn't it?
Oh yeah, because then you put in Garnacho, who we saw today, can't score to save his life because he also couldn't.
No, I'm not blaming Garnacho.
That's three.
I'm not blaming Garnacho.
Oh my! When Pelestri scores, I'm tweeting you, bro. I'm at you.
The
But the thing is,
Uruguayan
with
Messi,
Garnacho, yeah.
Palestri.
I'm not
You know what it
saying
is with
Palestra is
Garnacho?
the answer.
Let me ask you a question.
Go on.
You know what, Mandem, yeah? Let me ask you a question. With Garnacho, yeah, I can't lie to you. I rate him, yeah, but last season we used him in a different way. This season feels a lot different. It's a lot of play to feet, try and beat a lot of man. Last season he ran into space.
He was
went
coming
into
off the bench
space.
last season. He was coming off the
Yeah.
No,
bench
but I
last
get it. He was
season.
coming off the bench, yeah. I understand that. But the whole premise was he was beating people, but there was space, there was fluidity,
Yeah,
there
'cause
was
he's
like he played in
stretch
a
games,
better
Saeed.
system last season.
Yeah, and
Sorry?
another thing, I think
The
Brian
games are
made
stretched when he's getting coming on.
Yeah, Brian made a good point earlier. Palestri, I like him, but let's not pretend that he's some Vinicius Junior or something. I think he's a very good talent. He's going to be a very good player, but let's not believe that Garnacho is going to be some world superstar.
I was thinking more Rodrigo in it, but I'll take Vinny, it's fine.
Yeah, it's might be the case.
I'll take Vinny. I was thinking Rodrigo, but if you want to gas him up like that, I'd fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is that he's not going to be like that. So what to expect? And he's not strong enough. He's too young again. And this is why I criticize the manager again. He misprofiled his team. We needed wingers and we did midfielders really early on. And I don't think we needed someone like Mason Mount. And I like Mount. But we needed Rashford and Martial are our senior players in that front line. How shocking is this for Manchester United?
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Because look,
Really bad.
I'm a bit fed up of playing and buying young players because the fan base doesn't have patience for young players, and young players by definition are not ready.
You're not gonna like our winger target. You're not gonna like our winger targets then because they're all young.
Exactly.
Every single winger that we're targeting in the summer is all young. Nico Williams is young. Yermi
You know who
Pino
we need to
is
buy?
young.
You know who we need to buy?
Musa is
You know
young.
what to buy? Kubo. Do you know Kubo?
young.
Kubo.
I got the Sociedad jersey ready.
Well associated,
Sociedad.
We know what the thing was. This summer, we were meant to get Moussa Diaby for Jadon Sancho was supposed to get sold in the summer. We were meant to get Moussa Diaby, but we weren't able to sell Jadon Sancho.
Yo, Jadon Sancho, you're my dog, man. Michael, me and you, we got, me and Michael got beef about Jadon Sancho, I can't lie. Michael's already.
Jadon Sancho's Jadon Sancho's playing PS5 Pro Clubs, bro.
Sancho's the best winger we got at the club, bro. I don't care what anyone says.
Palestri.
Sancho's not
Sancho, that's Palestri.
Sancho, you know what the thing
Yeah,
is?
we
Sancho
got
is- Yeah, I stand the manager on the Sancho thing because we don't have full details, but Sancho is by far the best winger we have. And if we had a podium of our best wingers, he would take the 3 spots.
Bro, imagine Sancho with Highland, man. Honest to God, he would actually go.
Jadon Sancho's our best winger. We're a product, man.
Bro,
I
stop
said it, but
think
people don't want to hear it.
We guessing the
He would
Sancho.
have come from the right wing with Highland, I'm telling
We're
you.
not getting it.
What has
Trust
he
me.
done?
Sancho.
What has he done?
Sancho would have come from the right wing, man.
People were criticizing
would've
Sancho every time he played, but he was playing perfectly fine. He had a few poor games, but he was nowhere near as bad as him.
He beats a man. He beats one man. He takes one guy on.
When we have-
We don't need to beat players. This is what I'm saying. Like, you know, Bernardo Silva, he doesn't go past about 1,000
Exactly.
players.
All right, but Jadon Sancho does not have the dribbling of Bernardo Silva.
Bro,
He does
no,
not have the
no,
dribbling
no,
of Bernardo
no,
Silva.
You know what it is, yeah?
People
With us, yeah,
want players.
No, but the problem is, guys, yeah, we have got wingers that are just try and beat a man first. They're pacing beyond. Ahmad will hopefully come in and change that narrative.
Definitely,
Our
definitely.
wingers are just pace. That's all it is. Pace.
Exactly.
We need players.
And the fan base,
No, but the thing is, you need pace. You also need some creativity. That's where our wingers can lack. Like Nico Williams, for
He got
example, when he
favorite.
comes in. Nico Williams is a great winger. He has pace.
bro.
What does he have? He has good ball striking and he knows how to create. So you need.
No, the thing is,
wingers.
with the fan base, the problem is people want performances to jump out at them. People want to point a player and say, what does he do? Oh, he does this. We need more players that do quote unquote nothing. Players that Bernardo Silva is a good example. He gets the ball, he dribbles if he needs to dribble in a position when he's in trouble. We need more players. Hold on. We need more players that get the ball and pass it. What does Rodri do? Because if we had Rodri in our team, United fans would say, what was he? Is he defensive? Is he attacking? What does he do except for passing it sideways and backwards? And we have the same.
That's different positions though. That's a 6.
Yeah, but wing is the same thing. The same thing because another thing when the team.
So would you take Jeremy Doku on our team?
Hold on.
Would you take him on our team?
Hold on. When the team is not playing well and not creating well, you cannot expect the players and the wingers especially to create because you need to create in the first place the environment in which creativity can happen. But we are so erratic and so disrupted that when we have players that are actually creative, like Sancho, and other good players, they can't. They know. They understand the game. They're understanding on another level. They know that they can't dribble past 4 players because the circumstances to have that happen are not reunited. So if we had a good team that creates space, moves the ball a lot, and when the threat of the pass is very, very much a big threat, then you have the dribble. But if the defender knows that you're not really threatening to pass the ball because you're not playing well, they expect you to run at them. So it makes them very easy for them to defend against you. But if there is a very strong threat of creating space and passing it, well, then you would have central dribble players, pass defenders. But we don't have that. Look at Rashford. We don't pass, we don't create, we don't play well. He dribbles, they know how to stop him. But if we had a good team, and if he was better, he would dribble way more efficiently than that. But he can't. That is a problem with the team. We don't have enough players that receive the ball and pass it. And then you create space, and then you have the chances. You can't start the game with a killer pass.
I mean, I grew up on wingers that were 1v1 threats. That's what I grew up on. I want my wingers.
Nah,
to be
no,
1v1
Ronaldo, yeah.
Nani,
Even
bro,
Nani, I would
like,
take a Nani.
Velocity, man, Velocity.
We talk about pacing. We need to talk about pacing wingers. Would you not take Jeremy Doku on this team?
Valencia.
Right now,
Valencia.
Nani would be one of the best players in the league if
He's
he
a
was
hard.
playing right now.
He was
I think Antonio Valencia. Antonio Valencia is better than half of our wingers, man. I'm telling you right now.
He's miles better than
Jadon Sancho a good dribbler, right? He's a good dribbler, but he's not really a good. He hasn't shown that he's a good dribbler in the Premier League.
Yeah,
I mean, he did to sit down Liverpool.
Yeah.
Listen, man can't lie, man. Sancho's that guy, man. He's gone done.
You're bugging out. You're bugging out. I love him, but he not it, bro.
Nah.
He don't have.
Yeah,
the
he's
it.
gone.
He don't have the.
He's
it.
done, man.
He's my favorite,
Now,
man.
we're messing, man. Big up to Tima says best form in the Premier League in the last 5 games. Saeed still Eric Ten Hag out, mate. Yeah, listen.
Hold that.
I don't flip flop, bro, Tiemann. So, like I said, we're enjoying the win now, but I just don't see it sustainable. And we'll be back here again in December, and everyone's crying. That's what happens with this football club. We get too giddy, and I've seen it. If I can't,
Radcliffe change is coming.
Go on, Brian.
From Debo in winter, I'm telling you, it's coming.
Before I bring this one, Sancho, big up to Gino, says Sancho has been at United for 2 years and done nothing, next to nothing. United were good at time last year, and he was still anonymous. Let it go. Adam
didn't understand what I said. Yeah.
I love how you said Adam and not me. That's beautiful. That shout at you.
Yeah. Big up to Yusuf. He says, Brian, you an expert on Ten Hag. Please explain Anthony as an inverted winger. He has no right foot. This makes no sense.
He contradicted
He
himself.
wants to explain that.
That doesn't make any sense. An inverted winger is left foot on the right.
You play an inverted winger on the weak foot. That's what you do. That's why he plays inverted winger, because he has no right foot.
He doesn't. I agree. Anthony doesn't have a right foot, but at Ajax he had Mazraoui who could overlap and who could go inside. That's again bad profiling. This is one of my biggest criticism of Ten Hag, is that profiles, he may not be very strong on understanding profiles. Like that might be my biggest criticism of him, because he might think a player can do X.
That's what we were saying.
Yeah, but
again, that's
what me and Adam was saying. He spent all this money on players that can't play his style of play.
Yeah,
that's what we were saying at the start.
Again, that's fine at Ajax, where you have a team of people who can recruit for you and stuff like that. Right, you can cover up. All coaches have a weakness, right? This is not. You're not going to find a coach that's perfect at everything. Some coaches are not very good at communication. Ten Hag, his own thing is giving him a team. Again, maybe it's bad recruitment for Manchester United. Maybe we should never hire Ten Hag. If you had a manager like this that needs certain kind of players.
We have Pochettino. We know Pochettino applied for the job too.
Yeah, but Pochettino is not. But he would have flopped at Man United, right? The pressure is.
He's flopped as well.
Pochettino has a bigger. For me, though, we know with Pochettino, though, at least his philosophy is clear. Ten Hag's philosophy is not clear, man. Let's be honest.
My thing is,
I just answered your own question. It's actually hilarious.
And look, I might come across as someone that's going in on Ten Hag, and I am, to be honest. But I'm actually a fan of the man. I know what he can do. But my problem is he's trying to do something, and he's trying to compromise, because maybe internal pressure from the club, because he said that we don't have the players to play what he wants to do, and this, and all of the players we have in that squad are more suited to his football. The only one that are not are Bruno and Rashford. So they're trying to make a compromise to put them two in the team. But if he wanted to play his football, He would remove them, and then it would be much easier to have the.
Thank
to have
you very
those.
much.
But
Thank you.
maybe
That's the
he
point.
came maybe he
Yeah.
came and told the board, listen, maybe we should sell these players, maybe because what's his name, Ralph Ragnick was like, hey, if Rashford wants to go, you can go. What
No,
happened to
bro,
Ralph?
But
make
Brian,
enough.
he benched Ronaldo though. That statement that
Again,
you made is complete void, bro. Like
why did he
before
bench
Ronaldo had
Ronaldo?
1 second.
You know,
Before
it was
Ronaldo had
right.
his interview, before Ronaldo had that interview when he essentially got himself sacked, Ronaldo was
Mhm.
holding bench for numerous games, bro. Prior, and there was that game where he literally got tried to sub him on for 3 minutes. Ronaldo wasn't fitting the philosophy, and he benched him. And I don't know what. Fair play to Ten Hag. He stood his ground
Exactly.
and he's picking players, not on names, because Ronaldo, to be fair, to drop Ronaldo, fair play to Ten Hag. Like, that takes a
Exactly.
lot of courage. And he did the right
100%.
thing there. And this is the point what me and Adam are making now. He's now not doing the right thing. So you can bench Ronaldo, but not Rashford. How does that make sense? So you
Exactly,
literally
because
bench Ronaldo because he doesn't press and he can't play a certain style of football, but now he's keeping Rashford in the team because apparently the board are telling him to. Like, bro,
exactly
come on,
because
man.
what
Keep the
was
same
saying.
energy.
Exactly,
Some-
because what this
got
man is
some-
saying is, even if I wanted to defend Ten Hag, I can't. He's not letting us defend him, to be honest. There are
Of course,
some
man.
things.
Rashford.
But remember, he put Ronaldo back into the team when he did that thing when he left early. Like, he just apologized and you're back into
No,
the
but he
team.
did bench Ronaldo. There was a period, you can go and watch
Yeah,
it
but
back. There was a period where he didn't start for like 3, 4 games. Hence the media frenzy around the situation. Because why is Ronaldo not starting? Why? Because and then Ten Hag came out and said because he doesn't press from front or he doesn't do X, Y, Z. And I respected him for that. And the point I'm trying to make is if Rashford's not capable of doing, which is what you said, Brian, I hear that. If he's not capable of doing what you want him to do, just mix it up and try something new and see what else can do. Like, and the reason I use Newcastle example because they've got so many bang average players, but they're all buying into what Eddie Howe's trying to do. Yeah, it's not groundbreaking tactics, but they're all little pieces of a cog working to a bigger machine. And for me, Rashford is not trying to be a cog in a bigger machine. He's trying to be the machine himself, which is
Yeah,
holding United back because he's costing us most attacks. Today on the right wing, he was essentially null and void because he can't play there, which we all agree with.
exactly.
But he just
100%.
constantly costs us attacks, bro. And you can't carry passengers in the Premier League. We know this. Like, it's not gonna work, bro. And
It's not
I
even
actually, and
possible.
Adam will tell you, I'm one of Rashford's biggest fans. I've been cooking at him for so long
I'm the
about
opposite.
Rashford. Bro, I've always defended him. Me and
Yeah.
Adam have always disagreed on Rashford. You can check my tweets.
Exactly.
Adam and me don't get on with Rashford. But the truth of the matter is, we've got to call a spade a spade. The guy's holding the team back in the final third. He's constantly making mistakes.
Exactly, because when he's playing, we're not playing with 10 men. They are playing with 12. Like, he's against us. Like, this is the
Yeah, I know.
this is actually our players
I
that-
don't you're not going to find me defending Marcus Rashford, right? You're not going to find me defending that decision. I would drop Rashford if I had a chance.
Thank you.
I would
That's
drop
what
him.
earlier you said
I
you
would
said
drop
if-
them.
But will the manager do it? What's the point? The manager's not going to do it. He's not going to do it, is
The
he? He's
difficulty.
got no cojones, man.
I try to understand why he's doing something, right? Why is he playing Rashford even when he's in bad form?
Exactly, and this is where your
could-
arguments about the structure of the club and the politics mixing. Maybe that's where it's actually a good argument. And you earlier you said, would you sell Rashford? Well, I just got a scholarship, man, and if I could, I would buy him. and just below
The club would never allow it, right? That's part of the problem that Ten Hag maybe has. That it's easier. I don't think Ten Hag is thinking, okay, let's do this so we can get rid of Ronaldo, right? I don't think anybody expected Ronaldo to do that interview. But the problem with Rashford is he's been at the club so long, right? He wasn't like Ronaldo Rotondo. Yes, he was a club legend, but I don't even think many players liked him in that dressing room. Like you can see when he came in, even Ole said that signing was not a good signing, right? So I don't think Ronaldo has that sway in the dressing room. Rashford is a different story. Bruno as well is a different story.
And I don't think Rashford is liked that much because I've heard many things from people that said he's not very likable and he acts a bit like a prick with people. And he doesn't.
How do you know? How do you know that, Adam? How do you know? Man said he's a prick to people. How do you know, Adam? I want to know.
I can't speak to that. I can't speak to that.
Okay, you know what it is though? You know what it is though? Let me ask you a question, yeah? If we buy these technical footballers, yeah, are they able to play with Rashford and Bruno? Like, we go and get these Kubo and all these guys, yeah, that are on this level. Are they ever going to be playing well when we've got these two up front that are basically one's a grenade launcher because every time he gets the ball, he hoofs it, and you got Rashford who who again
It's
he
worse.
hasn't got the intelligence to do anything. Like, are we ever gonna play good football with them two in our team?
No,
I'll be honest,
no,
it's a
because
big question that a manager has to come in
I want to
and
hear
say,
from
right, am
Omar.
I gonna
I want
die
to
on
hear
the
from
hill with these two players?
because you're as strong as your weakest link, and when you have the spine is those, it can't happen. It just can't happen. And not only like it's not only that they are playing. One's the captain and the other one is the face of. Good God Almighty! One is the captain and the other one is.
Man said he's a prank.
Bro, it's terrible.
That was bad guy word, Adam. I can't lie.
It's
I was with you as well.
it's
Nah,
troubling,
I
man.
had people like I had testimonies. People told me like things that happened. I'm telling you, but
Nah,
then
he a
again,
nice
Yeah.
guy, bro. He a nice guy.
but then again, but to be honest, I take it off because it's not like fair enough. It's not enough. But just people said he's not likable in the sense that he's not very friendly when people come to him and talk to him.
I don't know. I think he's just a shy guy, right? He's not
No,
like
my
someone.
best
It's
friend-
not. It's
Yeah,
not
but
outspoken
the
like
guy
that.
when it
My
was
best
now
friend bumped into him in the hand.
Nah, we can't make outlandish statements like that. Like, that's
Yeah,
just
I don't know. I can't speak
It's
to
too
Rashford's
assumptive.
personality.
Yeah,
but on the
exactly. We
pitch,
can't be judging them on a personal level. Yeah.
yeah, on the
Got
pitch, he's not performed well. I think there may come a time, right? He's dropped Anthony. Like nobody's talked about that. He's actually dropped Anthony, and he's not
I
using
did. I
him
mentioned
anymore.
Anthony
that.
played
I
well,
mentioned
you
Yeah,
know.
you did
Anthony played
mention
well.
that. He might, and he created the chance for like the chance for Rashford was perfect, man. I can't believe he missed that. But
that.
it might come a
Rashford played
point.
games on the right and he looked bad though. One was the red card. He ain't look bad.
He on the right, he does the basics, right? He does the basics. He doesn't constantly lose the ball. That's why people are like, oh, he's playing well, but he's not really affecting the
Yeah, he
match
doesn't
as
lose the
much.
ball. That's fair.
He
That's
doesn't
fair.
lose the ball on the right. But in turn, then you then have Garnacho on the left, who's then constantly losing possession. I don't understand our wingers who they can't dribble. Like they don't understand what it takes to dribble. The way they receive the ball, like I watched obviously watching Ronaldo, what he used to do on the left wing at Manchester United. You can't compare, right? But this is basic stuff. When you receive the ball, you go at your player with pace. Every time our wingers get the ball, they stop and they slow down. And I'm like, what are you doing? You gotta attack the player with pace. Don't wait for
That's
them to
what
set.
pisses me off about Rashford because he has the strength and pace to beat his fullback. That's what frustrates me
Facts.
about him.
No, because the team is not playing well, so there's not really a threat of him making a pass. Because if the defender, like I was saying earlier, if the manager, the defender has to consider you passing the ball into a dangerous area, he can't fully commit to only defending you. And that's when dribbling becomes very useful. And since the team is so disrupted and not good enough, we are very easy to defend.
But let me ask you a question. In terms of, I thought Anthony played well when he came on, but again,
Yeah,
how much of that is going to be? There was 1 minute where he had the ball and he ran into someone. I think his best opportunities are when he comes and drifts into the central areas and then passes it. You know, when he has
Another
to beat a
wingfielder.
man.
Here we go again, bro. We signed another wingfielder for the 50th time in a row.
Whoa, what's that? Wingfielder.
Yeah,
That's crazy. I
he's
never
better
heard that before.
centrally. Anthony's best performance at Man United came against Forest last year in the EFL Cup.
That
When he played
Forest game,
centrally.
yeah, when he's driving inside.
He's another
Wingfielders, to use your term, they flop at Manchester United because
Exactly.
Mkhitaryan
We're
was
not- that's
another
Chelsea back. That's
is
Chelsea
another
back.
type of player like that.
Yeah, but
Sancho's another one as well.
Again,
Sancho's
you
another
need-
one as well.
yeah, again,
Sancho
but
is
you need to
another one as
Sancho,
well.
yeah.
Mount's
Again,
another
you-
one.
you need to understand a bit the way the manager wants to play, because if you look at it, when you have possession, the left back tucks in the middle, becomes a bit of a back three, and the right wing comes in the middle, becomes a bit of a wing fiddle, like you said, and the right back is the one that actually holds the width.
That's why he wants Frimpong. Because Frimpong.
Exactly, but that is the way he wants to play. So that's why he will always have
Bring
Dalot.
him, man.
Not always necessarily, but if
I
he
ain't
doesn't
having a
have,
5'2" right back, man. I can't have
if he doesn't have Aaron Bissaka, he will still play Dalot right back and anyone else left back. Because if he has Anthony and Dalot, that's how he plays it. And
I think to Adams, just to go to your point, I think what he actually wants for his fullbacks, he wants them in the midfield, right? And he has his wingers holding the width, which Anthony does really well. That's why he uses him a lot, and Rashford less so. But they hold the width, right? So the number eights are then supposed to be advanced to play in half spaces. This is where Bruno is bad, because Bruno Fernandes doesn't want to play up against the defense because he's not good at dribbling, holding possession. If you had a Bernardo Silva in that position, you'd see a completely different situation.
The way Ten Hag plays, I think you're right in a way, because maybe the way he plays is he plays quite narrow, and I don't think he wants both fullback in the midfield. I think he wants one fullback in the midfield when the other one is very much stretching the pitch. If we are on the left hand side, you have Reguilon as a left wing, and you have Dalot close to midfield. And if we are on the right hand side, you have Dalot very high up the pitch, and Anthony cutting in, and then you have Reguilon, whoever else, close in midfield. So they just balance. But we are a very narrow team the way Ten Hag plays. That's usually what he does. So that's why you always have Maguire. At the moment, Maguire picking a player like a long diagonal ball. It makes sense because that player is isolated and the rest of the team is on the side of the ball. But
The problem I think is
You
that
know,
he's trying to adjust though. He's trying to adjust to Reguilon. Like Reguilon was holding the weight because he's not very good at coming inside. He's not an inverted fullback. So this is the problem he has, right? He then has to play to Reguilon's strengths, which is him going out wide, holding the width. And sometimes Dalot is not. He's like, this was my issue at the beginning of the season. Even though Shaw is a little bit good at progress, like he's better at progressing the ball than most of our defenders. He's a traditional fullback. You know, Wan-Bissaka, again, if you watch him at Palace, he inverts, but it's more of a defensive block. Like, right? So this is the issue we have where we don't have any fullbacks that really can play the way the coach wants to play. You end up having situations where people can't hold the ball. Like the number of times you saw Ajax defenders progress the passes into the forward players was insane. Right? And we just don't have.
Yeah, but then Brian, why is he playing Dalot inverted? It's actually so frustrating to watch when the low century he's not that good. I mean, for me personally,
he ain't better at holding the width either.
Dalot,
I'd rather have him wide, and I'd rather have Anthony.
why did we give him a new
he can't cross
contract,
the
man?
ball.
Why did we give a new contract, man?
the problem is that
I'd rather Anthony play on the inside, like we just alluded to, that he's better centrally, and he can play those little 1-2 give and goes and potentially get a shot away, whatever it may be. Because he's basically useless
The thing is, I'd rather have Wan-Bissaka do that role.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm saying if Wan-Bissaka's not available,
we need to improve on them both, to be honest, on all of them.
the problem is that
we need to do fullbacks. Like Maggie said, we need to do fullbacks. I think, you know what though? But let me ask you a question here. I think there was positives in Maguire today. I think I felt like for me, he was the only one that was trying to progress the ball a little bit better. Is it really game over for Varane now? Because, you know, obviously right now, he ain't going to play with these two. Lindelof played well today as well. Like, is it really game over for Varane now? Like,
no, kicked out in Galatasaray. I can't wait.
Al-Nassr, Al-Ittifaq, that's where he's going, bro, January.
I think he's been game over for a long time. He's not reliable. Like, he's just not reliable.
Who is reliable?
No.
In terms of fitness, you can't trust them, right? If you want to build a back four, and this is what Arsenal have, Gabriel and Saliba, for the most part, they'll play 90% of your games.
He's quality as well.
And not 90% of your season too.
That's the problem.
If you're saying he's our best box defender, yeah. So when we need to go back to actually being a team that doesn't leak goals in, who are we going to rely on? Because then Maguire and Lindelof are not the best box defenders, are they? So then you're going to be in massive trouble. If we go get Todibo, which I think could be a possibility in January, which I don't think, to be honest, we'd even have the money for. It'd be probably a loan.
We'll have the money.
I mean, technically,
we'll have the money.
I don't know, man.
Radcliffe, I mean, I think Todibo is really nailed down because Radcliffe.
Radcliffe's connection.
Yeah, I think
he owns that other club, so he's gonna you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that Radcliffe's gonna help us sign a lot of players from that league.
Scary about January is that they're in a title race right now. I think they're first in the league, so I don't know if Radcliffe take his most prized asset.
Michael, by January, the only PSG will be 20 points clear. Don't stress about it.
Yeah,
Enrique's got his own problem. Enrique's calling on Mbappe. He might not be in the job tomorrow. They got their own issue.
Yeah, I mean,
he just got a hat trick.
Yeah,
did you not see it?
He said he could have been better.
Yeah, he's about to be out of the job. You know,
and that is what a coach.
I told him about this Enrique. I told him about Enrique. People don't want to listen to me, man. That guy.
Well, that's why you call a proper coach, Saeed. That's what you call a proper coach. Asking for more from a player when he's bagged a hat trick.
It's almost as if
you know if Ten Hag did that. Mbappe notes and said, "I'm not your scapegoat." I'm just saying. Yeah, exactly. He came out with notes and said, "I'm not your scapegoat." Come on,
if Ten Hag the guy at Manchester United, we say Jadon Sancho scored a hat trick, and he came out and said he needs to play better, he would be slaughtered in the media.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "I'm not your scapegoat."
That's crazy. One other player for a hat trick for me is crazy.
No, listen, don't chat about my guy Sancho like that, right?
I bought it.
You know, I like Enrique's comments. I like.
I'm messing.
Yeah, I like.
You know what it is with you though? I feel like with Ten Hag though, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I think I think with Dutch people, they're very, very. I don't know if you people have met
They're
Dutch people.
blunt. They're
They're
very
very,
blunt.
very
Oh, no.
Have
straight
you
to
seen
the
their
point.
punditry, bro? Have you seen the punditry? They're
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
ruthless.
Straight to the point, man.
Van der
Van der Vaart is ruthless. That guy does not care, bro.
Maguire's price dropped 20 mil just because of Van der Vaart's comments.
Bro,
That's what
he
I'm
said
saying.
he's.
I don't know.
Yes, yeah, man.
I feel
Yeah.
like for me, it's about how you say it. I think for me, the way Varane is going out, I think it's very, very sad. And I don't like it. I'll be real with you. I'm very, very uneasy. Like, if you say to him, you're not part of my plans, fair enough. But I think there's something gone wrong behind the scenes where.
What if
he might
Varane came out and
actually-
said? What if Varane came out and said he wants to go? What if they gave him a huge Saudi offer and he's like, "Hey, I want to go, manager." And,
No, I
But he
think-
didn't leave
no,
last summer. Remember, he
apparently
didn't
the-
leave last summer. He
Apparently,
didn't leave
the-
last summer, did he?
we didn't get an offer last summer.
He did.
Things can
So
change.
now it's no, hold on. a
No, I'm
minute.
just saying
Now
because
he didn't
people
get
are
an
people
offer.
are people are
Come on,
speculating
man.
on one side. What if he came to the manager and we said, "Hey, in January, I want to go."
Yeah, but
but
you know
it's
what?
logical.
Varane is someone that is very respected and looks like to be someone that's very respectful. If it happened, let's suppose hypothetically, I don't think he would come and say it. I don't think he would come and say this in a disrespectful way. Like,
Adam, is that your sources talking
I would
again?
have to leave if I would like to leave, right?
No, Varane's never had an
That's me,
issue
but
with
I'm
any
doing my best
manager. You
still.
know, Varane has never
I'm
had an
joking.
issue with any manager he's been with. He's been with Zidane. He's been with the biggest managers. He's always been a leader at every club here. He's always come in and done his job. And when Ten Hag said it's tactics here, bro, you could have told him like to face, yo, listen, this is what's happening. Da, da, da. He was definitely irked by that. He was
Yeah.
like, hold on a minute. Nah,
And hold on.
don't. do
Man
it.
disrespected him like
what
that.
It's tactics,
I
but it's
don't
not
think it's
on the
it's
bench.
not a it's not a big deal. man.
Bernardo Silva and Maldini on the bench who dropped Varane for tactics.
I think Ten Hag explained the tactics that he wanted, and he just don't think Varane fits that. That's just that simple. The coach.
I really,
Why does he play Rashford then?
Why has he got a problem then? Why has he got a problem? Why is he not even talking to him? Why is there no
think-
communication? There's something deeper.
Bro, Varane
Exactly.
for me on Wednesday looked like he gave up when he came on that pitch on Wednesday.
Yeah, I
He looked
agree.
like
I
he
agree.
gave up.
man.
Yeah,
I
he's-
ain't respecting
He didn't want to be there, man. He didn't
I
wanna be
seen
there.
your tweet, by the way. I seen your tweet. I seen it.
Yeah, I
That
had to
was
mute
that
it
was
right
disrespectful,
away. I had to mute it right away because.
What did he say? What did he say? I haven't seen
Well, I
it.
said Varane on Wednesday, from the moment he stepped on that pitch, looked like he don't want to be there. So I ain't backing him in this debacle that he has with Ten Hag. I ain't backing someone that looks like he quit on my team. Why would I back that?
Yeah.
But think about it. Think about it though. Think about it. If you're Varane, right, you've had like what 3-4 injuries this season already, and maybe the Saudis have given you an offer where you can go play easy football with Cristiano Ronaldo. Why would you want to hurt yourself again? He's checked out. Like he looks like he's checked out.
Yeah, but then again, the problem seems to
I
be that
don't
he
think
wants to play. The problem seems to be the opposite of him not wanting to play.
I don't know. We'll see. The truth always comes out, right? Someone is going to say something, and we'll find out what really happened with
Give
the
it a
whole
few
thing.
weeks, Adam will know this
We'll
stuff,
drop
right?
it after what's it called?
Because now we are having problems with the only good players we have. And that is not a good way to go.
That is the
Let's
point,
get a
though. That is the
Casemiro
point.
tweet.
Ten Hag has fell
Casemiro
out with
tweet
every
today.
high wage earner that has been at this club except
Remember, I
Rashford
told you that. I told you that.
and
remember?
Martial, because Martial don't even cares about him, to be
Let's
honest.
go to the De
What about
Gea as well.
Rashford?
He
Isn't it?
just did.
He's on high wages. He's
I
on high
said
wages.
he targets.
It's bought
Yeah,
Rashford.
and the only good news in
Martial.
that, the only good news in that is that Rashford's next. Inshallah.
I honestly think.
Man said inshallah. Man said inshallah.
I like that.
I think Rashford is in trouble, if I'm being honest, because he had Rashford apologize for his whole birthday situation. He went for a party. I think
Yo.
Rashford is.
That for me, that was
think-
one out.
No, that was publicity though. That was public. shit.
No. He actually had to apologize to the team for it because he partied and he had to be in training the next day. The Hag wasn't very happy about that, and then he missed the Fulham game.
I don't get
Did
that.
he have to be on training on a Sunday? You sure?
No,
Was
no,
it?
already Sunday night, and he had to show up to Monday training, which he showed up.
I thought that game was Saturday. Saturday was it not?
No,
Yeah,
something.
something like that.
He went for his brother's birthday Sunday night, and his
Yeah,
birthday.
let's not mention his brother right now.
Yeah,
Innit?
Yeah,
That's
but-
safe,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
You know what, Michael?
It was his birthday too, 2 days after.
Either way, and let's just not mention Rashford and brother in the same sentence.
That's mad though. That honestly,
Yeah,
that's
let's move on from that. You know,
Yeah,
next
people
question.
saying it was his birthday. Like at the start of the season, you know when's the derby and you know when's your birthday, so you can actually work out a better date. Or maybe he was so optimistic that we would smoke City, but then again, in what reality does he live? Because there's
I
no
don't
way
really
you can.
buy into that.
He
I don't
beat
really
him last
care
year.
about that. My thing is, yeah, you he's not playing well, you take him off, but I don't think he will do that. This thing about high wages, I don't think it is. Maybe it's something that Ten Hag is just not maybe a great man manager. he probably isn't a great kind of manager.
Like,
Maybe we don't.
it's the Dutch in him, bro. He's very blunt. Some players don't like bluntness. It's that simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think he's a good manager. I tweeted it as well. Like he's falling out with Ronaldo. Obviously, Ronaldo made his own bed. We all agree on that. He's falling out with Casemiro before his injury, and now Varane. I mean, it's like 3 high-profile players that all got a bit about them, like a bit of leadership. They're probably
To
gonna
be
stand
fair,
up
I've
and
wanted
speak
them
for
gone
themselves.
for a minute now, so I'm
To be
happy.
fair,
I
all these
know.
players he's falling out with are players I once sold at the club anyway.
Yeah,
So
bro.
I'm not even
They're
upset.
They're
Yeah,
over
but-
30 players on 400K a week that shouldn't be here anyway. So get
I
them
mean,
out
that's
of
a
here.
fair point. That's a fair point, but at the same time, I don't think it sets the right precedent. I mean, for me,
I mean, you can say
that
something
you
about
wanna-
Arteta. Arteta had the same thing happen at Arsenal, and look what's happening
yeah,
now.
he did. To be fair, he did with Aubameyang in particular.
Always
Obviously,
going to
he-
Bobby. He said,
It
adios.
worked out well for him, but you know,
No, the
it's
thing
not
is,
gonna
though,
always work out.
but
Is it?
if the squad is younger, they're gonna listen to more Ten Hag because younger players buy more into
That
those kind of
yeah, true.
managers.
Get rid of Bruno then. Isn't
Yeah.
Bruno like 30 as well?
No, I honestly think these players, Bruno and Rashford, if
Get
Ratcliffe
rid of
comes
Bruno.
in, if Ratcliffe comes in, I think they are at a very like critical level. They could get sold.
I think Bruno
Depending
gets
on
sold.
if
I think Bruno gets sold to Saudi in the next 18
because
months.
if they bring
Inshallah,
100,
inshallah.
I'm telling like if they bring 100 million, right, they probably wouldn't. But if they brought like 90, 80 million for Bruno Fernandes,
Paul Mitchell
Bro,
saying.
90.
I'm
Whoa.
saying
I know, yo, we don't rate Bruno, but he's a high image in football right now.
You
He's
reckon you're gonna get 80 million for Bruno?
captain.
Bruno,
He's
they
Man
brought
United
80
captain.
million.
He's
They
one of
brought-
the
You got
Look,
60 million for missing out, you definitely get 80 million.
bro, I'd be happy to get code.
You're catching right now. Bruno 80, sell Casemiro for 50, sell Varane for 40. I don't know. I really care. Just get them all. Just get them all gone, man.
Rashford.
Yeah,
Yo,
Rashford
y'all
is
a
70,
mean
80.
fan base, bro. Y'all
Yeah.
a mean fan base, bro.
Oh my bro, we're trying to. Oh my, yo, Man City just done the 3P and the treble. They're gonna do a 4P. Allow the meanness. We need to catch up, bro. We need to be ruthless.
Watch out for PSG and Rashford.
There is no.
Get him gone. Get him gone.
There is no.
I think PSG will come for Rashford. I think if Mbappe
Yeah.
gets sold,
Can I
I think PSG
just say
will come
what?
for Rashford.
I don't know if Saeed remembers this right, but I've been holding on to this for a while. I came on Saeed's stream, right? I don't know if it was in August, and Saeed asked the entire panel, right? None of you know about that, I don't think. Saeed asked the entire panel, would you swap Rashford for Mbappe? And guess what? I was the only person on the bloody panel that said yes. Everybody else said no. That is a level of delusion.
I wasn't on that
Mbappe.
panel. I wasn't on that panel.
What-
You know
what-
what that means? You know what does that mean?
On your show, Saeed, you asked, would you swap Rashford for Mbappe? I was the only person on the panel that said in a hobby.
Did he ask
Everybody
me?
else
Did
said
he
keep
ask me?
Rashford.
I don't think he asked me. I've
Go the
voted-
video
I've
host.
And
No,
you know
I've
what does
been
it
rating
mean?
Rashford since 2019. 2019. Go watch my video outside.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about as well.
People are
You
probably
guys
upset
are
with saying
Rashford.
Bruno 30 mil, bro. We could get more
I'll
than
sell it
30 mil
tomorrow.
for Bruno Fernandes. Please
Bro,
be
I think,
respectful.
like I said, I would take 6 cold Heinekens for
I'm
Rashford,
gonna
man.
I'm kidding, my
Get
brother.
it done, mate.
Yo.
I'm kidding.
80 mil for Bruno Fernandes. We take that.
Apparently, Enrique really likes
Oh.
Rashford as well. So PSG.
Yeah, but
Enrique
you know what? Let me
does.
ask you a question though. If Bruno
Take
Fernandes
it.
right now, yeah, if we were to sell him, who would be your replacement for Bruno Fernandes right now in the current market?
Yo,
current market right now.
Ratcliffe inject some money and go get Musiala
Yeah.
somehow.
Oh, Musiala, stop it, Michael. That's not happening, bro.
Musiala
You got
was a
Florian
one.
Wirtz as well. Florian Wirtz.
Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Oof,
Yeah.
Musiala would be the
I'm
dream.
gonna
I
go
can't lie.
well, where's the Havertz? I can't lie. I have PTSD from Kai Havertz with
Xavi
he's not my
Simons.
club, bro.
Xavi Simmons. Xavi Simmons.
Actually,
Nah,
I was
nah.
just about to say that because
He's a baller, but he's at PSG anyway, isn't it? So like, so I mean,
No,
you
isn't that
can
look?
finesse away. You can finesse away.
Yo,
he's
we
on
can
loan,
go to
isn't he?
we could offer PSG a Rashford for Simon Swap and they'll take that.
That's perfect right there. 20 million Rashford. You good?
No.
Isaiah Simmons.
No.
I mean, Simmons does look good, but I'm not sure. You know, I
I
don't
like
think he's
that.
good playing about team.
But then I feel like he drifts.
He's
He's washed now, Brahim Diaz. He's washed, man.
You know what, Saeed? Going back to your question, if we sell Bruno, it gives and Rashford, it gives us the freedom to actually build the team for the next match.
Actually, don't even play at number 10. Actually,
But-
I'm like, don't even buy number 10. Play with.
I was going to say that. I don't want
Exactly.
any more
Play
number
with two
10s at
eights, man.
Manchester
Play with two
United.
eights.
Exactly, just build the
Well,
team.
you don't want it. You don't want it. You don't want number 10s.
No,
I don't want any.
Number
I
10
don't.
position is
I
finito,
don't want.
Papa.
Play with
I
two
don't
eights,
want
man.
number 10s at Manchester
I love the
United.
number
No.
10 position, but as Zidane and Messi said in their interview, that position is dead in football.
That's finito.
Oh,
man.
I've not watched the interview. What did they say?
If Zidane says that, then you gotta listen,
Yeah,
bro.
they said it's pretty much done. It's very rare.
Twix, my Twix.
It's very rare. Like Musiala might be
Yeah.
like the only number 10 left that's even worth it.
Exactly, and the number 10
Nah,
nowadays. they
Madison's
don't
the
consistently
10.
play in the 10.
Madison's the 10.
Yeah, but you could play Madison as an 8 though. Like you could easily like play Madison. as an
Exactly, and I
eight.
think
Why Madison works as an 8 because he can dribble. That's really the primary reason.
Yeah,
he
he
can dribble and he
can
can
dribble.
float.
That's
Yeah,
what I
man.
said about, but hold on a minute. But when people are saying, "Oh, but we can't sign Madison because he's not an 8. We have to sign Mount." Well, now all of a sudden
it's
everyone's
because
saying
you know
that
what
Madison
people
can
said
play
that though, because you can't play Madison and Bruno together.
And
because
Bruno
they
together.
They both have to be the.
Yeah, that's why you put Bruno on the
That's what I'm
bench.
saying to you. Now we need to sell
Exactly,
Bruno. That's what I'm saying to you,
Yeah,
man.
but okay, but
You don't realize
But if you
Exactly.
sign
Bruno's
Madison,
a
They
comedy
don't put together, Michael. You're right.
Bruno was never getting benched though. Let's be real.
And no,
That's the problem.
The number 10 position, there's the number 10 position on the pitch in a 4-2-3-1, but there's also the concept of the number 10, which is the creative player on the team. The number 10 can be the winger, can be the striker, can be the midfielder. There's the number 10 like actually on paper and conceptually, like who's the playmaker, who's the creator, and that is also the number 10. Like for example, when Chelsea played with Antonio Conte with a back three, Eden Hazard was playing on the left wing. But he was the number 10.
He was wingfielder. He was literally a wingfielder. He was playing.
Even though he was not playing. Like there are two things.
I
I think
want
Rashford got number 10 on his back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go.
I want
That
three
was
solid
the- yeah.
midfielders. 3 solid midfielders in midfield for Manchester United. People who can retain and pass the ball. I don't want players that like, come on. Like I don't want like someone like De Jong or something like that kind of profile. That's what we need.
Yeah, that's
Facts.
The Young's not gonna happen, man. The Young's not
No,
gonna
the
happen, man. But
profile
does not happen.
we have to dream.
The one I wanted
if we
to
can
be honest was Enzo Fernandez. I think he's different class.
Oh, yeah, he's
I know,
class.
man. Danny Olmo, I can't lie to you, man. Danny Olmo's so underrated, man. I think he's
Yo,
unbelievable.
this is my thing about Olmo.
He's so
Olmo,
cool.
he drifts a lot out wide. He could play as a winger
Yeah.
too. So I don't know if that would
Another
work.
wingfielder. I told you, stop going after wingfielders, please.
That's what I'm saying. Big
Yeah.
wingfielder. I don't know if we could do that again.
Listen.
You know?
Yeah,
I
We
can't
need to
no,
scout,
no.
man, guys.
Mkhitaryan?
Scout, man.
Kagawa, I can't do it again, man. We've flopped.
Yo, Kagawa,
That's
after
Chelsea.
that hat trick.
That's Chelsea heritage. That's where those guys gotta go. They can't come to us. We're not built like that. Our
We
wingers-
need we need direct
Mkhitaryan
wingers.
as well.
Pedro
Mkhitaryan as well.
Pedro Neto, that's what a Man United player is. Pedro Neto. That's the
Oh,
definition of a Man United.
Neto.
That's what you
Oh
need.
my
Nico Williams,
God.
That's what you want.
I'd like Olise on the right though. If we were to sign another winger,
Okay,
Olise
that's
on the
okay.
right.
Another wingfielder. I can't lie. Bro.
I love Lucy.
No.
Yeah.
He's
Bereni
good
said
1v1 though. He's good 1v1 though. He's good 1v1 though.
He's good 1v1 v1v1.
I take Eze though. I take Eze. I can't lie. We need players that can drift. You know,
Ezzy,
in the park.
Ezzy's like you can consider Ezzy like a number 10, but he can also play 8 because he's that good at.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Innit? He can carry the ball, man. We haven't got
That's the
midfielder
kind
that
of
can carry the
Paqueta.
ball and
What about
glide.
Paqueta? What about Paqueta? Paqueta from
Oh, he's
Leicester.
good, bro.
Paqueta is like
He
Bruno,
looks
but
like he's somebody
Brazilian.
Anything
Yeah.
Brazilian, keep away from me, bro.
Nah,
No, I tell you, he's Bruno, but Brazilian.
Yeah,
He's a
anything
better-
that
he's
comes
a
better
out
dribbler.
of Brazilian,
Nah,
He's a
keep
better
away
dribbler
from
though. He's a much
Fred,
better dribbler though.
Casemiro, Anthony. We've never had success with Brazilians if you really
And
think
there's
about
a better
it.
Brazilian.
Yeah, relax, man. Anderson, Omar. Anderson. Why you disrespecting my goat?
Bro,
It's kinda
Anderson,
weird.
what
I like that.
Yeah.
all Anderson did
Anderson.
was just go forward with the ball.
Bro, Anderson would be our best midfielder today, bro. Don't you know on that prime
I
team?
love
yo,
Anderson,
come on.
bro. He wasn't. Come on.
I know it's gonna be mad, yeah, but I always say Nico Barella, man. He's unbelievable, man. Honestly,
I do like
if you want a
Barella
player
as well,
that can
for sure.
retain possession, press resistant,
He's been
carry the
horrible
ball.
this season,
With these
man.
Honestly,
Italians don't
man.
come to us, man. They don't
Look
come
at us
to us.
dreaming and fantasizing. It's crazy.
The problem with selling Italians,
Bro,
I don't know.
how about this? Ratcliffe goes to France with his Paul Mitchell. Go give me three midfielders from France and
Thuram.
your midfield. That's all you need, man.
Thuram.
Yeah, bring
You
all
want
these
Thuram, you
young
want
prospects
Thuram.
from France.
I'm
Man.
not
They got loads.
Thuram.
Prince Ram, he's
I'm not watching a lot of
he's
Thuram.
good. He's good.
And we don't like good players. Like we don't like them. Like you see the pattern we have. Because like you said, Usman,
Yeah.
people
for me,
vote
the priority is the back though. We need centre backs. We need to build from
Yeah,
the back
centre
first.
back. Yeah, we need centre backs.
I want three center backs. I want 3 full backs. That's what I want. This is my 6
We need a full team, man. I can't
we need
even
a
lie,
full
yo.
team.
Yeah.
We need a full team.
To
Exactly.
win the league, we need at least 10 players.
To be honest,
Bro,
that's
listen, man, we
that's
win the league, man.
No,
No?
I'm saying like as in like long term, like
No,
we need 10 minimum.
Listen, man.
Like-
Listen,
I
win
s-
the
I
league.
s-
I don't know, man.
But Saeed,
10
I
years
said on
time, man, 10
I
years
said
time.
on Amazon Prime, I'm never gonna see Man United win the league in my lifetime.
As
again.
long as
And they were
Pep
like,
Guardiola's
what?
here, we'll never win the league anyway.
Nah, happy, bro.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Pep is a disgrace, man, because he never stays more than 3 years at the club, and now he decided to stay.
Innit, what a fraud!
Exactly.
What an absolute fraud. He needs to go to PSG,
Yeah.
man. Just go piss off, man. You've had
no.
your
I
time.
think
Nah, he won't, man. He's gonna-
I think international football is where Pep is going
Imagine
next.
about England,
I
bro.
don't think international football because he doesn't have enough time to drill the players. He's so methodical as a coach.
Yeah, he's so methodical, man.
And the one
I
thing he
think
wants,
he's gonna stay for a while, man.
and the
I
one
think
team
he's
he
gonna
wants
stay
to
for a
coach
while, man.
international football is the one that can't fit Pep Guardiola in Brazil because they're anti-Pep. That's like
Exactly. And
You
like,
know, let me ask you a question, yeah. The last question I want to ask him before I wrap up, yeah. If Eric Ten Hag does stay here, do you see him as a manager who can dominate us for the next like 20? If the Glazers end up leaving and he gets his play, do you see him dominating like football? Like, is it like a consistent style where everybody like win leagues back to back? Because I see him as a more of a cup team. I see him winning FA Cups here and there and stuff like that. I don't see him as a guy 38 game a season, religiously like putting in this style
Nah,
of
he's doing it
football.
with Ajax.
Well, that's crazy considering he won every league
Come
title
on,
here.
Ajax, bro. Come on, man. I
Nah,
know.
come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
They're
he left. He
falling
left
off a
for
cliff
England.
since he left.
Well,
Brian,
I don't
good
know,
start.
let,
Brian,
let
go
me,
and start. You're shaking your head.
well, for me, Ten Hag right now in world football is probably. I know his stock at Manchester United is down, but he's one of the best coaches in the world. Like every player that talks about him is like he's very detail oriented. They say he tells them exactly what to do, where to be on the pitch. That's what players need. Like modern players, that's what they need right now. The problem in Manchester United, we don't have enough modern young players. Bruno is almost 30. Like our squad average age is like 27. Like it's not good for Ten Hag. So if we change that situation and we brought young players in that can play to his style, and Pep and Klopp are still in the league, it'll be very hard. But going off, I know Ajax, Dutch league, whatever. But I think this last final season they didn't concede a goal for 6 months or something or 4 months or something like that. Or they conceded only 4 goals in 4 months. Like he is a league winning manager. And he can do well in the cups, but he's like centered around getting points in the league. That's why if you look at our form table right now, United are 6th, even though they've been shit this season pretty much. Like he does well in the league. Like for me, if we back him, like I've never been more confident in my life. If you back a manager, he will succeed at Manchester United.
Yo, give me a hug, bro, because I'm so with you.
Facts. 100%, man. But listen, people.
Hag we trust.
Yeah, Ten Hag we trust. But listen, people.
And
We're gonna wrap it up
my
here.
fault, my fault.
It's been a good show. Yeah, it's been a good show. Guys, make sure you stay on this stream because we're going to be redirected over to Griggs. He's got a match reaction, match kind of analysis to kind of go on there. But Brian, it's been a pleasure. Big up to you as always. You know what I mean? They're going to call you Mr. Glazer. I think they call you Mr. Glazer in the comments. But listen, Brian,
finally, he's been exposed for who he truly is.
Look at my pinned tweet on Twitter. It's literally a Glazer out video that I edited.
It's Glazer.
So no, I'm not Glazer in anything. I hate the Glazers. I've supported Manchester United for over 20 years. And my dad is an Arsenal fan. So imagine I went against my own dad to become a Manchester United fan. So that should tell you something. But no, thank you, Saeed. I appreciate coming on. If you guys want to see my content, listen, I'm very fair. When Ten Hag does bad, I criticize the hell out of him. Follow me at Ideally Pundit. I know a lot of people are thinking that that's just me being like braggy. No, that's just for my podcast. But if you just want to follow me for Manchester United, you can follow me. Yep,
there you go on Twitter. Elite Pundit. Griggs, big up to you, man. You're gonna be live after this, but big up to you as always, man.
Sure, bro. Thanks for having me on as always. At Michael_Griggs26 on Twitter. If you want to debate me on there, because I debate Man United fans every single day, it feels like these days. But I usually meet the tweets anyway, because the worst thing on Twitter is having a big Man United account quote tweet you, because every single person that goes into your replies is a Sancho Avi or someone with United in their account name.
That's me, man. Griggs quote tweets me, bro. I get bad shit, man.
But bro, on there, and then Griggs talks for YouTube, which I'll be going live right now with Staffy, so you guys know Staffy.
Yeah, man. Big up Staffy as always, man.
Shout out Staffy.
Yeah, always, man. For the fanatics, man. What you say, man? Big up, man.
Me? I like the accent you did there, my brother. Yo, shout out
Come
to
on, man. Come on.
everybody who tuned in. Shout out to the panel. What a great show, to be honest. Adam Habibi, my pleasure. Osman. Hopefully I see Palestri get 2 or 3 goals, inshallah.
Don't worry, I'm gonna shout out my pleasure card in a bit.
Brian, it was a pleasure. Great points as well. You can find me at _Oski on most platforms, but Footy Fanatics for my YouTube. And then for YouTube, on Twitter, I'm really not active, so don't holler at me on Twitter. In America, we Instagrammers, you know what I mean? So,
yeah. I got to, like, in Quebec, we don't have Twitter. Like, people don't know that I speak about football. They don't know.
Yeah, no, I use Twitter, but we're very we're very big on pictures and videos, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So I seen that.
Yeah, man. But make sure you're following people, man, on there as well. Big up to you, Adam, as always. Professor Adam, big up to you, man.
Always, my guy. Thank you very much to everyone on the panel. It was fun. It was really fun. And Adam Manred on Twitter, where I'm usually way too honest with my own good. So always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, man. Big up to you. And Osman, as always, man. Pleasure to you as well, man.
Yeah, you can obviously check me out on socials, as you can see on screen. Obviously, also Palestri _, GG. Listen, when Palestri scores, just know, even if I'm on my shift at BBC, I'm gonna sit in some random building, room in it, and I'm gonna come to you, man. Just know when Palestri start doing man.
Palestri plays ball. Find him at Palestri.
Yes, that's my dog. That's my dog. But yeah, make sure you get signed to 500 likes as well, people, and subscribe to the channel.
Definitely, man. Yeah,
I'm gonna follow you now.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Yeah, big up to everyone, man. Guys, if you could get me to 500 likes, that would be crazy, man. Let's get it up. We had 850 at one point in the live. So please, if you could hit the like button, 438, that's, you know what I mean? Go and hit that like button, people, man. And also make sure to go and check out Griggs' channel. He's live right now. Everybody go raid. You know what? Let's raid Casemiro. What's your raid? Because he don't like Casemiro, does he? Casemiro.
He doesn't like Casemiro at all.
No, Anthony. You know, like Anthony.
Anthony.
Yeah, just go and praise like inside wingers. Like just go and praise them inside.
They're like Winfielders.
Yeah. Just go and praise Winfielders on his chat.
Anthony, and after Anthony, just write Matt Ayos. Ayo.
Yeah, Ayo, man. But yeah, man, make sure you go spam his channel. It will redirect you right now. Big up to everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Unfiltered podcast. I'll see you there. And the watch alongs as well will be tomorrow as well. So big up to everybody.
Oh, classic. The classic watch along that corporate, everyone.